I've never been more excited to listen to music before.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to At the End of the 72nd season, the long-awaited show. We've been looking forward to this for months and months and months. As you can tell, we are not that jacked up on coffee. At least Mike is not. He's just excitement.
I'm just excited.
Some natural caffeine.
Accidentally plugged himself into his dishwasher outlet, so he's just vibrating with that. And of course, this week we have a special guest. So way back in the day, there's a trio of hardcore Metallica fans. So we've invited our long lost buddy Jeff here to the show. He's flying the flag. We have mentioned Jeff a couple of times on the show as he went out and bought himself some tickets for the Edmonton show. Jeff, tell us about that. Like, where are you sitting? What's the date? What was the mentality there, buddy?
Well, I did it on a whim because I was being impulsive. But I mean, I'm sitting. It's a pit. They're pit tickets. There's some. It's like in the pit, like on the floor, like on
Nice.
Yeah, and so I mean, it was I don't know They were like $800 or something for two shows.
Yeah.
Right? So you get the Friday and Sunday. Get the Rock in Edmonton, and I think it's like August 28th of 2024 or something like that.
I think it's the 24th and the 26th, I believe.
23rd and 25th.
Or 23rd and 24th.
One's on my birthday.
So
Mike, I gotta go.
So it's the end of August is what we're settled on. Yeah. As long as Jeff gets there, that's the point. He's got a year to plan it out. So you're spending the whole weekend in Edmonton. You flying in and out. What's
Yeah, I'll fly in, and then I mean I'm assuming I'm gonna have to deal with hotels pretty quick here because they're probably gonna book up pretty fast.
Yeah. But, I think tickets are probably going to start selling out now that the album was released and people are hearing it, and I think a lot of people are going to now hop on board to start getting tickets.
Yeah,
are they?
Maybe.
Stadium. I mean, I would imagine they're probably going to put 75,000 in there.
Yep.
Right. At least. So it's going to be a bit of a zoo. It's going to be lots of kids.
Lots of kids. That's the crazy thing. Is lots of kids, man.
Lots of kids out in the house.
Yeah. Now, speaking of kids, Mike, you did the theatrical release version of Metallica. I saw Metallica themselves were posting. I think Rob Trujillo was out in one theater. I think they said in Germany.
Yeah,
I think hanging out in the back.
He was in the theater in Berlin.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But how was it in Kamloops? Did they draw a good crowd? You took your boy to it, so tell us about that.
Like when I first heard about it, I asked him, I'm like, do you want to go do this? He's like, yeah, let's do it, Dad. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I bought tickets. When I bought them, there were 9 seats sold at the time. And I think when we got there might have been 15 people in the theater, maybe 20 at tops. But man, what a cool experience to do it with your teenage son that is a sort of chip off the old block. And like he loves Ride the Lightning. He's not a huge Metallica head, but he, it's kind of forced. It's forced upon him. So he's embraced it. And it was just he thinks Lars is like the funny because they had like little blurbs before.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, did they just play the straight album or did they have like a song and then talk about it?
So at the very beginning they did like a like a little intro video, blah blah blah, and then the 4 of them were sitting on a couch, and they were basically. Nice. Lars was the only one mic'd up, and he was questioning why the hell he's the only one mic'd up. And then they kind of were making fun of him for talking because he talks with his hands, and they're all kind of mimicking him, and it was pretty funny. And then Cooper just thought Lars was the funniest guy. And then they do like a sort of like not a synopsis, but of like, oh yeah, this is how we wrote 72 seasons, and then so the 4 of them were talking about how the riffs came, blah 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 blah, lyrics. And so each song got, not all 4 of them, but most of them got at least 3 of them talking about each song. But, Kirk wrote the main riff to 72 seasons. He's like, I just woke up, put my guitar on, and was walking through the living room playing, and it just like it.
Yeah, that's a really hard riff, eh? But
like, come on, man. Like, but whatever. He wrote the riff to Enter Sandman, so you can't fault him for writing great riffs. But yeah, no, it was some of the videos didn't have the band, kind of like Hardwired. I think there was like 7 had the band, and there was a couple animated ones. When we get to Shadows Follow, that one almost made me puke. There was just like sensory overload. I couldn't even look at the screen. There was a couple of them where like I'm old or whatever. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But I couldn't.
You're old.
I'm old. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, have you watched it on Spotify at all? Because I'm just wondering if what they put on Spotify is the same as what they put in the theater.
I don't know. Like I know.
What do you mean, like the videos?
Yeah.
Okay, so the
no.
Shadows Follow was just basically a camera and like within a circle with some like thing pulsating going through the forest.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay, so it's probably all the
So
same.
I'll what I'll do is I'll try to bring some of that up. We know the audio does not function as we would like it to. I will try to bring some of that up on a Spotify account so that we can at least sort of see the video stuff that goes through it. Maybe play a few clips as we go. Continue. How did the boy like it? Like that's a hell of a father-son bonding experience. We're coming up to.
Yeah, for me, like taking him to Iron Maiden was said when he was 10 was
that was amazing.
That was the pinnacle, and he's like, he told me when it was done, he's like, that was the greatest thing I have ever experienced in my life.
You know what was a really enduring moment in that concert is he's walking around and he's ear to ear grin, and a lot of the other fans there are like high-fiving him and like, hey, super cool that he's here. Like it's just such the metal family is such a family, really.
It really is.
From
any age. And at that time, when he was a little bit younger, he hated crowds. He couldn't do them. And, there's a lot of people in Rogers Arena for Maiden.
Yeah.
And it was a little overwhelming for him. But, man, he's a, no pun intended, a trooper. But,
but for those of you that don't know, that's an Iron Maiden song.
But to be able to experience this with him, like I was getting kind of emotional about it, like kind of last night thinking about it and just how awesome it is to share it with him. And just, he's just, I don't know. I could go on and I'll probably start crying if I keep going on and on. So I won't. But it was an awesome. I'm glad I did it. And because I was really on the fence because I was terrified to listen to this record. I really was because the singles, a couple of them were like, oh, okay. And then I'm just like, trying to be excited, but anyways, we'll get into the rest of my believe me, the excitement is at like 10,000%.
I actually like the singles.
I do now. Now. At first listen, I didn't like them. I like Darkness a lot, but that one's kind of trailing off for me. But anyways, the theater, and they're coming. They're doing 2 shows in the theater this August, and their Dallas shows, they are going to put them live. They're going to live stream them in theaters.
Oh, nice! I'll probably go see that then.
Yeah, so me and the kid are going to go see those 2 as well, and then maybe there'll be some tickets to the Edmonton show in the future. I don't know, because he's asking. Can we go?
Is it sold out?
Sorry.
Is there tickets left?
There's tickets left. All like in terms of price point, it's. We'd be about 50 miles away in row 10,000 up in the sky somewhere, but whatever. It's not the point. We're there, right?
You're there for the sound, and you see them on screen anyways, right?
Yeah.
He's young. He can jump the wall into the pit and just tell him to go home with Jeff.
Well, I think it goes back to the big crowds thing. I think he would have a real panic attack if he was in the pit.
Especially when everyone starts like converging on the stage and it gets pretty like
we've all been there, right? It gets gnarly up near the front if you want to get close, and I don't think he's not ready for that kind of stuff, even though he will be going on 16 when they come to Edmonton, but which is a weird thought, but I think he might just Jeff, you got some older kids. It's weird watching them grow so fast. But anyway, that's a tangent for another day.
So let me ask you this question then, kind of on topic, but I already know the answer to this. Do you think the fact that they demanded a 2-day show for each location definitely hindered some of their choices? Because they're not coming to Vancouver.
No. Well, the only Canadian shows they're doing is Edmonton and Montreal, and it's like destinations, right?
Because they demanded 2 days for every venue because they're doing a double show.
Mm-hmm.
Like I gotta assume that they would have gone to Vancouver if it was available. They recorded 2 albums here.
I think,
right? So they love Vancouver.
Well, here's the thing.
I think Commonwealth might be a better location than BC Place.
But they've gone to Vancouver every time since the Black Album for every tour.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's Thunderbird Stadium, BC Place, Pacific Coliseum, Rogers Center, they've been here every. except for the 72 seasons.
They might do an arena tour, but they're in a different headspace. They're only playing 25 shows a year, which is not.
Do you think Edmonton is a better venue than Vancouver?
I don't know.
I would guarantee you if they came to Vancouver, those tickets would already be sold out.
Okay, hold on. You're missing a major issue with that. Look at the timing of the tour. Timing of the tour. BC Place is committed to the Lions.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So they would be here if they could get a slot in Vancouver, I would assume.
I think they can squeeze more people. I think they can squeeze more people at the Commonwealth than they can BC Place. And I think that's what it's about.
Maybe.
Right? Maximize if you're making a trip out of it, you know.
Also a solid point. I don't think they could get a day out of BC Place that's not a stupid midweek day.
And they're only playing Friday, Sundays. They're only playing Friday, Sundays, and that's it, right? That's the thing. Yeah. So
I think there were singles available after. I don't think you just have to buy the double.
No, you can get single show tickets.
You can get a single one.
Yeah.
Why would you though?
But if you're going, you might as well go to both.
Sound sucks at BC Place anyways. I don't know. Like
it's better now. Like since they did the Renos, it's not the like I haven't seen a show there in a while, but I saw Paul McCartney there. And it sounded great. Sure, different type of artist than Metallica.
I mean, it's not an ideal sound, but Metallica sounded fine there. Guns N' Roses sounded great, actually. Like I was really surprised at how well they sounded at BC Place. But really? I think, Gojira sounded terrible.
I'm so excited. I got my Christmas coffee cup going on because it was Christmas for me yesterday. So.
There you go.
All right. Well, let's
get into it here.
So now we're going to mention this throughout the show. So I'm just going to share this real quick. I was feeling a bit cheeky the other day in doing all of our stuff and getting everything prepped for this show. So I went out and I made a meme. So as we mentioned, the Randy Marsh scale of enjoyment, for those of you out there, this is what we're talking about. Angry, meh, happy, Mike is what we're going to call that last one.
We all know where Mike fits on the
Jesus.
So avert your eyes.
Avert your eyes, children, if you're watching.
So we're going to use that as long as we can until we get big enough that I get a cease and desist order from the South Park people. However, they might just think it's funny as shit. So,
they might embrace it. So hey, you never know.
I mean, I made it first, so at least give me 5% of the t-shirt sales. Okay. So let's dive into this track by track. So let's start off. This was the last single they released, 72 Seasons. Let's start with our special guest, Jeff. How did you feel about this one?
I thought it's a great track to open the record with. I think. I mean, that opening bass part, like I'm just like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, right.
Wow. It's just fast, heavy song, and it's just a great song to open the record with. I mean, I think of the songs that were released first, I think all of the other ones are better than the singles. That's my opinion first. I don't know. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but
so the 4 songs that they released as singles are the worst of the album.
I mean, they're the worst, but not exactly my favorite.
No, I would agree with you absolutely 100%. 100. I love everything else they didn't release. I
definitely think 72 Seasons is the best of the 4 singles they've released, in my mind. And the solo is one of the best ones on the album for Kirk.
Yeah.
Like his solo in 72 Seasons fits so well. And it's not just the generic pentatonic minor just noodling that he does for most of his songs. He actually puts some thought and effort into the structure of the solo that fits the song.
Yeah.
So I've always said like a guitar solo in a song is like the emotional heartbeat of the song at some point. So
at some point, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for Metallica, like in the past too, like especially not quite hardwired because it was all more, like improv and just feeling it. But back in the day, like they were like full construction and like hours and hours were put into each solo to make it sound perfect because they were that surgically precise band. Right.
Yeah.
Not sure they're there anymore because this album's got a real loose, like just a live on the floor feel, jamming things out and just whatever comes. And because Hetfield said that during the intro to the thing at the theater, He said they ditched the formula, like the typical, we're going to put a ballad number 4. We're going to, we're doing these things. This is how we do records. He's like, we didn't do that. We just focused on riffs that were cool, and we built around cool riffs. And I think that's awesome.
I will say that the riffs are probably the strongest aspect of this album.
Ooh,
like
riff-tastic.
Every song has a banger riff in it.
Oh my God.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Some songs don't hit as much as others, but
every album, you're not going to have 12 10s,
bangers,
right? You can't do it. No band does that. So, it's fucking just a riff mania. Like it's
sludgy, like sludgy.
Oh yeah. So I thought like the album as a whole. I don't know if you guys would agree with me. Like I've been waiting for this record. I'm just gonna get it over with.
15 years, right?
I've been waiting for this record for close to 25.
Yeah.
Like this to me is like the natural follow up. What Saint Anger should have been. This is what like the follow up to Reload, because it's got that load kind of like swagger. Like there's just tons of attitude in it, but it's also got some real aggression with it. And I think if they would, because it kind of fits like with the Minus Human. What's the other one? S&M song. Oh fuck. No Leaf Clover. It's kind of and I Disappear. Like those songs kind of fit that mold too. And it's like this album it's just got so much bounce and just swagger and just fucking lip curling. Every song is like fuck. I just like when I was in the theater with Cooper, like we were just watching and I just like You Must Burn came on, or even Sleepwalk My Life Away.
I knew you were gonna like that song. You Must Burn.
And actually,
as soon as I heard it, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be Mike's favorite song.
Yeah,
You May Burn is my favorite song.
Yeah, like those songs where you're just like this and just like fuck
yeah.
And it's just the drums and Lars's drumming. It's simple. It's to the point. He's not overplaying like he has in the past. It's like he's doing.
I have a massive problem with his drumming.
What?
No shit.
You've
been having a massive problem with his. Well, you've been saying this since Lux came out, though.
It's not the hi-hat.
I love the hi-hat.
Not exactly the hi-hat. It's his constant use of the ride cymbal for every song. It's just like ting 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 ting. Like
he's 60. Leave him alone. Look,
it's too much. It's too much. I notice it when I'm noticing the ride cymbal all the time. That's a problem in a song. Yeah. Honestly, if you notice one thing in a song constantly, you're like,
it could be a problem with your focus.
Maybe. Like I got a part of Shadows Follow that I'm not going to talk about because I don't want to ruin parts of the song for other people. Because I don't want to do that. There's just one part.
If they haven't listened to it yet, who cares?
No. It's more of a we're going to get there. I just need to go back to. I was trying to get a word in edgewise there.
Sorry, Matt,
Seb, that's okay.
Yeah,
it's fine. I knew exactly how this is going to go, and it's going exactly like I thought it would.
Notes
about the banger riffs.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I thought about it last night, and my wife said it to me. It's the same fucking riff through the entire fucking album.
It is,
but it's the hell out of here.
But okay, that's
Metallica's entire catalog.
My wife said, and hey, don't get me wrong. AC/DC has made a fucking career on it too. There's nothing wrong with that. However, I got to throw it out there because my wife sat down. I was in the last 3 tracks of the album listening to it. She laid there listening to it. She was kind of trying to doze off, and I'm like, it ain't happening. I got to do this. I got to listen to this. I couldn't listen to it all day at work because of the machinery. Mm-hmm. So I need to get this done. I need to get my notes. She looked up in the last song. Thank you. And she goes, "Is this still the same fucking song that was on 20 minutes ago?"
It could have been 15
and I'm like,
fucking longer too.
This is actually only 30 seconds into it, and this one's 11 minutes long.
But you know what? I think we'll get there with Inamorata. But like Seb said, this is like the Seek and Destroy riff is Enter Sandman, and like it all like if you're a guitar player, all their songs take place between like the 5th and 7th fret on the guitar.
With
that's 90 string. It's the E. It's all everything's an E. So you can only spin that scale so much. But man, they're like whatever. I know it is repetitive, and I don't give a shit. Because even Load's my favorite record, and every song sounds exactly the same fucking riff, just done at a different tempo, and I love it, and I don't care. Like I'm a complete homer for these guys.
I mean, you can say
that was with an ER, folks. That was with an ER.
Homer,
like Simpsons.
Homer
like
Simpson.
like the
You're
Simpsons.
a homie.
Yeah.
You can say that about every band, though. You can say that about Slayer. Like every Slayer song.
Well, every Slayer song's the same.
You
Like
know, you can say that about Cannibal Corpse. Every Cannibal Corpse song is like a blast beat, like. You
Right?
know, you can say that about Taylor Swift. They're all about ex-boyfriends.
Yeah.
Well, you can even.
Oh, and she's got a brand new album about to come out because she's single now. Okay.
Time
I'm just gonna get
back
a
in the
couple.
studio.
I want to get a couple more mentions in here. 72 seasons. This, when of the original 4, I counted this. I thought 1.5 songs were fucking great. This was the half song. The second James vocal starts, it just fucking ruined it. However,
what song is this?
What's that?
He's talking about 72 seasons.
Oh, okay.
72 seasons is the half. When I said out of 4, it's a 1.5.
Wow.
Of the 4 they released. However, this is the one that's got stuck in my head.
So they did their job.
Well, exactly it. This album, you know what? I'm going to save that next statement for down the line. But this is the one that has started to grow on me first. I was all in on Lux, and we'll get down there. But I found myself walking through work yesterday, belting out parts of the lyrics. So this is the one that has gotten into my head a little bit. Mike, I didn't mention this, but I just got to say I was worried about you yesterday at the theater. I was very concerned. I was watching the news to see if a man was arrested, Pee Wee Herman style in Kamloops. I'm glad you got out of there alive.
If I went by myself, that might have happened.
I would have had to drive up there to bail him,
right?
Because his wife would have just been too embarrassed.
Leave him there, man. Just let him rot.
Just pick up. I'll pack his bag, take him back with you.
There we go.
Yeah.
Seb's home for wayward boys. All right, let's move on down to Shadows Follow, shall we?
Okay. So in the theater, the video for 72 was the video we've all seen. Was the one them just doing their thing with all the lights and shit. And then Shadows Follow was not them, and it was the video's out now, but it's
wait, did they do a video for every song?
They did.
Oh wow, that would have been.
They're not in all the videos. Like there's like 5 they weren't in. This one was just basically the screen is a forest and it's moving left to right, and there's a circle in the middle with like it's something pulsing to the music. And after about 4 minutes, I got dizzy and I was like, oh my God, I can't even look. I thought I was going to pass out or puke or something. I was not feeling good. And I was like, okay. So I just sort of put my head down. And
Mike, you're one of those that couldn't go see the Blair Witch Project in theaters.
That movie scared them.
Yes, yeah, he is.
Yeah, I am that guy. Like I totally not. But Shadows Follow. So, it kicks in. The intro is a little long-winded. But the main riff that he goes into, like I don't know if Matt could even pull up like a minute in, where it's like the riff right before he starts singing.
Give me a minute.
Sure. And it's like for me, it was like, okay, like I'm kind of lukewarm, and all of a sudden Hetfield's playing with that riff, and it's just like, holy shit, this is cool. And it's not my favorite song on the record. It's growing on me. Like it's taking some listens because the vocal delivery is really different for Metallica. Like it's not straight ahead, and it's just like it's choppy. I guess that's the best way to put it.
So it's staccato.
Yeah.
Like it's a like
yeah, it's been very, very different for them, and it's taken me a few listens, but I really like it now. Like it's because it's so riff-tastic. There's 8 million riffs in every song. Like it's just like, how many riffs can we put into 6 minutes? Let's put 25 in. Yeah,
spit out the bone kind of set the bar for the amount of riffs you can put in a song, though. Yep. That song has like 100,000 riffs.
Sorry,
that's okay. No. Mike's a little excited.
No, was that did that audio come through at all?
No,
I didn't think so. Okay.
That's okay.
So, having a little technical difficulty with that.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I am.
Seb, how did you feel like listening to Shadows Follow the first time?
So I will say this about the album: the intros for every song are like fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like they really get you going into the song. And Metallica is known for really long intros.
Yeah.
His song is fine.
Yes.
For me, it's fine. Like there's nothing that stands out about the song. at the first like 2 or 3 listens. It's definitely not one of my favorite on the albums, but it's not like a terrible song by any means. Like I will listen to it.
Yes.
I'll put it on my playlist. But yeah, it was just I wasn't blown away by the song.
No.
Although the ending, like once it gets to the chugging part in the middle, like dun, 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 that's I think where the song starts to take off. When it slows it down a bit, the drums slow down.
Yeah. Something they haven't embraced in a long time is that slow mid-tempo kind of chuggy chug. Let's just get heavy and dirty. They haven't done that in a long time.
Really like the guitar work near the like last half of the song.
No, me either. It was like and then the song ended.
No, I do like it.
Oh, you do like it. Oh, okay.
Like the solo guitar work near the end of the song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff, how did you
I'm just trying to refresh my memory. Not my favorite song. Not my favorite song.
Yeah.
The thing about this when I played it through, okay, so I played it through in my truck, and then I played it through again, and then I played it through again, and I found when I put headphones on and listened to the album, I liked it way more.
It's way more with the set of headphones on.
Different,
yeah.
Right.
I agree 100% with you, Jeff.
Well, yeah, and for me originally, like there's like the vocal hooks, like there's like the James Hetfield, like there's just catchy hooks in some of the songs. They just get in your head, and I had a hard time wrapping myself around the lyrics and the vocals originally.
Yeah, but
then it just grew on me. As soon as I put the headphones on, I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's a whole different experience.
There's some emotion in this album, man.
Oh, big time.
Like, there's some fucking raw shit in here, and I think
especially in the last 3 songs, but we'll get to those.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I thought this one would fit on the Black Album pretty well. It's
very loady, reloady too.
Yeah, like it's right in that era of just sort of that transitional thing.
Yes.
I was actually thinking of that, but I think now it's a little more Black Album. I definitely like his vocal cadence a little more than I did on 72 Seasons. There's just, even though it got stuck in my head, it's kind of like that disjointed, not quite right rhyme scheme like Eminem used to have in his first couple albums. It drives me fucking batty. Like even just the quick, because they're really heavy on quick 1 or 2 word statements in the lyrics on this entire album. There's not a lot of coherent sentences, but the cadence to it delivered that a little bit better. So it's I don't know, it's kind of bottom half of the album for me, I guess, but still fairly solid. It's right in an era that I'm not particularly fond of, but at the same time, it's not Justice, it's not Saint Anger, it's not Hardwired.
Be careful with your Justice talk about. I'll reach through the webcam and strangle you in 1 second.
Yeah, you know where I live. Come get it.
Like when you I got a little like with the energy of the album and like the urgency of it. There's a little bit of a Saint Anger vibe that way in terms of that. I'm not going sonically at all because Saint Anger sounds like shit. We all know that. And again, I'll defend it, whatever. But it's got the energy of a band that's got this renewed, like they're almost like they're reborn again. Like this is like phase like 4 or whatever they're going through.
They're having fun making music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think that's really cool.
Plus years old, like Jesus, Murphy.
They're 60, I think now.
Yeah, they're
60, 61. I think.
Kirk is 60. The rest of them, I think, are 59. But yeah, they're all turning 60 this year. It's nuts.
I will tell you this though, like this song as well as most of the other, there's no real chorus line vocally that really pops except for one song we'll mention later. But like they're all, a chorus is supposed to be the resolution in a song. It's supposed to bring the entire song together and, chorally, that's why it's called a chorus, like sing to the audience. And I don't get that with any of the songs here. It's all guitar work and,
It's like vocals were almost like secondary.
An
They just
afterthought. Yeah.
they
It's
were
all
totally
about the riffs and the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they were too busy having
So-
fun jamming. I think it was just like those
Like if you listen to like Nightwish, for example, and their choral arrangements, it pops the entire songs. Or like even Brothers of Metal, like when she sings in the chorus, like it just brings phenomenal.
Like they're so good. I love those guys. I love those guys.
So, and Guns N' Roses exactly the same thing. When you get to the chorus parts, like it really pops the song. So I don't get that in any of the songs except for maybe one song, which we'll talk in a few. But yeah,
that's what I was alluding to as a 2 step. The same thing. Like there's just a vocal hook. There's something about it that I just it's lacking a little bit. But I don't know. I made the mistake of like looking at the lyrics as well when I was listening to the song. And if you look at the lyrics, like there's like. It's James Hetfield, like, all right, time to write lyrics now. The song's done. You know, there's a word and then a rhyme and then a word. And to him, it makes sense. To everyone, it makes sense. But
he definitely has a certain style of writing lyrics.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that leans right into the point I was making earlier. I think Jeff hit it right on the head. And we're on the same page there. I do actually have the lyrics called up on my other screen here as we go along. Yeah, and it's short. It almost reads like a haiku in spots.
Yeah.
It's like, but I mean, it's James. Now apparently they've been getting together and doing teamwork on, since Saint Anger. At least they started with Saint Anger. So I mean, it's really hard for me just to pin a bunch of lyrics on James unless you can clearly see his fingerprints.
These are all him. Nobody else writes lyrics anymore.
No, they killed that.
They killed that after Saint Anger. It's like, no, this is my department. Fuck you guys. And this is, that's.
I mean, I'm sure they pitch ideas, right?
They might, but it's all. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the publishing credits on the bottom of the songs, like a lot of them are Metallica, Ulrich, Trujillo. Hetfield, Hammett, like it. I saw a TikTok or something. I saw something last week. You guys might have seen it if it was in the theater, but James was talking about this very thing. And we've heard this from them for years about how it's collaborative and all that stuff. And he actually said, I was very open and vulnerable to, hey, you guys start writing some songs, start writing songs. And he said he found that when Kirk would write a song and write lyrics, when it came time for those guys to be vulnerable and put their stuff out there, they were like, Kirk was feeling a little weird about it, and James was like, now you know how I felt the last fucking 40 years.
Right.
And you know what? And that's, you got to remember too, James was a bully. Like you see it in a year and a half
in the early years,
right. So at the same time, for Kirk to do that, he's got to be looking up at, because he's much smaller than James, and James is definitely an alpha style, front man. So all of a sudden you got little Kirk that's just sort of been, I'm just going to come out, do my guitar solo and fade back in here behind the drum riser. So now all of a sudden he's got to be out there, and it's like the Chihuahua talking to the Great Dane. Like, what are you going to do?
Well, that's almost like
absolutely nerve-wracking.
The James and Lars dynamic over the years. Like Lars is as big an alpha, even though he's 5 foot whatever. He's as big an alpha as Hetfield is.
Small man syndrome.
Oh, totally.
100%.
He ain't putting up with no shit from nobody. And that's Kirk doesn't have that in him to do that. But.
Have you guys watched any of the Howard Stern stuff when Metallica was on there earlier in the year?
No.
There's a bunch on TikTok.
Well, the one you sent me, Seb, was from Hardwired.
Was it?
Yeah,
no. There's stuff from Lux as well with
is there? Okay.
With Howard, I believe. It's pretty candid, man. Like, he's a good interviewer, actually. Howard Stern, like all of his craziness aside, he asks real questions.
He gets stuff out of people that nobody else can.
Because they trust him as an interviewer, because he's got the pedigree in the business, right? He asks real questions, but he genuinely likes the artists that are in the studio. But anyways, we're off topic.
We're getting off into the weeds. We're getting a little long on this one. I'm just going to point out that I did look it up. This songwriting is credited to Hetfield and Ulrich. Mike, go ahead, and then we'll move on down to Screaming Suicide.
I've got the writing credits. All of them pulled up here. All songs were Hetfield Ulrich except 72 Seasons, Crown of Barbed Wire, Chasing Light, and If Darkness Had a Sun was Hetfield Ulrich Hammett. And then Screaming Suicide, Sleepwalk My Life Away, You Must Burn were Hetfield Ulrich Trujillo. So Rob had 4 credits on this record. That's a lot.
For a bassist, yeah.
For the bassist, because like that's pretty
Well,
impressive.
we're I'm gonna make a point about that in a few songs here. All right, let's move on to Screaming Suicide. This is another one that they dropped earlier for us. I think it was the third.
This was
Second?
the third. Yeah, it was. No, whatever. Second.
All right.
Somewhere in there.
I don't know.
Here's
first listen. Go
Hold
ahead,
on. Here's a hot take on this album that Mike will probably end up screaming at me. The main riff is one of the best riffs on this album. It is so fucking good. Like that riff is so good, man.
And again, it's very mid '90s reload kind of attitude song.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me think of Ain't My Bitch, kind of, sort of.
Yes.
Like that kind of vibe where it's just like I'm slapping you in the face with a guitar type of sound. It just
actually 72 Seasons for me is getting some Ain't My Bitch vibes too. Just like with the vote, like I've been trying to play it on guitar. It's a little fast for me, but the main verse riff on guitar is very Ain't My Bitch, and it's a lot of fun to play. But anyway, Screaming Suicide. So when I first heard it, I was just like, I just put my head down going, fuck. I'm like, no, come on. Like, this song sucks. And it's taken some real legwork to listen to it a lot to, okay, this it's growing on me. It's
okay. So
I've got kind of barbed wire playing right now, and it's just like blowing my fucking mind. Sorry.
You should play the song that we're talking about, Mike.
No, that's just I'm just going. I'm just fucking going. But I do like it now. Like, I'd give it a solid 6 out of 10, maybe 6.5.
That one riff is so fucking good, man.
Oh, it is, absolutely.
I think we talked about this before, and in a nutshell, the topic of the lyrics does not fit the song structure.
Not at all. It sounds like a party song.
Yeah. So if you called this like banging girls in the back or something, I don't know. Like
or you call this song Lux Eterna, it would fit.
Yes, totally.
Right.
You know, it's just Screaming Suicide. You're thinking of like
it should be
Changes
dark
by Black Sabbath, or like something that's like very somber.
Mm-hmm. Like a Bleeding Me kind of thing. Like something that's like, okay, this is gonna hit your heart emotionally, and now like, okay, we're going out, and we're gonna go, tear up the streets or whatever you're gonna do. It's like, okay.
I will say this though, that the vocals definitely fail the song.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like the chorus in the song, and the vocals are so meh for me.
Mm-hmm.
But that riff is the only thing that saves the song.
I think when the first 5 seconds of it, when I played out the first time, I'm like, oh no, the wah pedal.
Yep. Yeah, it's like
you're gonna get a lot of wah pedal though.
Enough already.
I don't like the wah at the front. Like, I would wish that would just had been played on notes and to see how it sounded. But I don't know. It's Kirk, right?
That's what Kirk does.
As soon as I heard that wah, I'm like, oh no.
Yep.
Whatever.
But it grows on you, like it's whether it's for me like beating it into my skull to make me like it.
It's hilarious the difference between wah pedals based on guitarists, right? When Kirk does it, it sounds like it's invasive in the song.
Yeah.
But like when Joe Satriani does it, it sounds like it's a part of the song.
Yes.
Like it's just
you
crazy.
Can't even tell. Like
he is one of the master guitarists.
It's subtle, right?
He doesn't do that aggressive like wah wah wah. Like he does. I don't know. He does it right. If anyone wants to hear a good wah pedal, listen to Joe Satriani.
Listen to the
absolutely.
I think it's The Traveler by Satriani off of I don't remember the album, but
pick
Traveler.
Any album by his and listen to any random song. There's wah pedal in it, right?
Smooth as silk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now there's a spoken word interlude in there that's it's kind of subtle. It's somewhere in the song. I forgot to write down the time. I heard that. And I really listening to it, because like this didn't sit well with me. I think it was the disconnect between, as Seb was saying, the lyrics and the music underneath it. Because it was very.
Mike said that.
Ain't my bitch. It was You're both the same person in this case.
Pretty much.
Really.
Pretty much.
But it's got that attitude, ain't my bitch feel underneath, and then the lyrics are. It's almost like somebody was sending out an email for it and cut and pasted the wrong set of lyrics, and they went, all right, I guess so. It is the musical equivalent of the trifle from Friends, where she has the pages stuck together and there's fucking meat in the dessert.
Joey liked it.
Joey,
They're like, this is good. It's like
custard, good.
dinner and
whipped
dessert at
cream,
the same
good.
time.
Meat,
Right.
good. Like, absolutely. So, but I really took a listen to that spoken word when it popped up this time, and I just immediately through my head went, "You fucking cheese dick." Like, it just.
I don't mind the spoken word in it.
Yeah, I think it's just the way the lyrics fit the song. Like, I don't mind a spoken word interlude. They've done it well in other spots, but I'm just listening. I'm like, cheese dick.
Jeez.
No.
Jeez, that's harsh. Fucking harsh.
Yeah. Well,
musically,
it
the
happens.
song is a lot better than people think it is. It's just
Absolutely.
it's just, again, like the lyrics fails the song for sure.
Well, I think we're going on a theme here. Musically, this album's a 10. It's just when it comes to some of the vocals on some of the songs, you're just like, oh,
Is that fair to say that the vocals are the weakest part of the record?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I'm going to say the lyrics are the weakest
Or it's
part
Kirk's
of the
wah
record.
pedals.
And that
Like
is.
Like, I think Hetfield's voice is as good as it's been in 30 years.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
absolutely.
Matt's right. The lyrical
the lyrics for
his singing ability is never in question. It's just
no.
the choice of how he's singing the lyrics is the problem for most songs, except for a handful.
Like, is it the lyrics though, or is it just the vocal harmonies or lack thereof, and then the hook?
Yeah.
Right?
Where's Jason? We need some Jason background vocals.
That's what? That's a good point.
When you're playing, like Mike said, here to here and playing these riffs with different tails on them with different tempo, there's not a lot of room there vocally to like do a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm no music producer, but I'm like, there's not a lot there to play with. So I don't know. I mean, whether he holds up live, we'll see.
Yeah. No, I
have seen a couple of them do Lux Eterna live, like on Jimmy Kimmel's show, and they do sound good live.
Yes.
Yeah.
Darkness Had a Sun the other night, and they cut it they cut like 2 minutes out of it, and
it's another song.
I
like that song. I'm just saying.
I do like the ending with that breakdown when it just sort of goes from that and Lars just comes in, kicking the groove, but they cut that right out. It's like, oh, okay. Well,
okay, we're gonna move on. We're going to move on songs here, but just a real quick point. So I mentioned the band a couple weeks ago, We Are Wasted. And to Jeff's point about the harmonies, talking with the drummer on deck, me and friend of the show, Sarah, were mentioning that, the harmonies were, and it happens in a live show. It's nothing to do with it. It is what it is. Like, the harmonies weren't on point that one night. They do really well. And I said to them, the proper harmony will take a good metal song to a great metal song like that. And he agreed. And it's just one of those things where sometimes you have an off night, and there's nothing wrong with that, because it was the next show they did, it was absolutely fine. So dropping in those harmonies takes it away from that stereotypical Cookie Monster metal song, which, James is not a Cookie Monster vocalist anymore.
Nor was it really ever.
Well, it really, he's learned to sing better is what's happened, right? But it's not like people think, oh, it's just metal music, so you sound like Cookie Monster. But if you take away that and you add the right harmonies, that's when you start getting the Metallicas, the Maidens,
Yeah, you also don't really listen to Metallica for these insane vocal passages. It's like the same reason you don't listen to Megadeth for his vocal ability. You listen for the riffs and the lead work.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I can't get my voice that low.
He said with chat with the guys after the concert on the next show.
Yeah. So there you go. Nick turned around and mentioned it. And to be fair, it was just one of those things. It was a bolt that needed to be tightened.
It could be anything too. It could be like
critical.
It could be bad monitor
absolutely.
placement. It could have been bad mixing from the back end. Like, you never know.
Could have been hungover.
So on a live show, could have been hungover.
Yeah, well, the band is called We Are Wasted. No, it's just it happens to every live band. Sometimes you need to tighten a bolt. Sometimes your guitar string breaks. Sometimes you're just your arm hurts, so you're not hitting the rhythm right. It's nothing bad. It's just, we need to tighten that bolt. So and it did. They did 3 shows, and the second 2 shows much better. Okay, let's move along. Sleepwalk My Life Away. This one took me by surprise.
This is You want to go first, Matt, this time?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, because I've been waiting on this one.
He's got some fire in his eyes.
the bass intro to this.
Fucking
Yeah.
sick.
Fucking Rob at his finest.
Hell yeah.
And it's not often Metallica will put that bass intro in.
Nope.
You put a good bass intro and a lead into a song, and I'm there. My favorite song of all time is Hey Man, Nice Shot, and that's got one of the most iconic bass lead-ins there.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's
this
a
one
phenomenal song, by the way.
Oh yeah.
This
From
one
Filter,
just
yeah.
Oh yeah, and I sing that one all the time too. I'm gonna get you out to karaoke, Seb. You don't have to sing, but I'm gonna get you out. And yeah, it was this grabbed me, reached through the screen, grabbed me, and said, "You fucking listen to this shit." And this was, I was almost at work. I gave it a whirl on my way to work yesterday, and I was like, I don't want to get out of the car. I was already 20 minutes late, which is what they call Matt on time. But yeah, no, the bass intro just fucking yes. And then
I have this song on now, so I'm syncopated with our conversation. So
I have it on too.
I'm all synced up.
This goes back to what I was saying, that the intro lead-in for every song are some of the strongest features of this album.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way they lead into the song for the first 30 seconds to a minute of the song is a big strength of this album. And yeah, I just, as soon as I heard the bass, my eyes went wide. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hit play on it right now. And just,
I do think, okay, you guys are probably going to not agree with me here, but I do think the song loses a lot of steam when the riff and the vocals start coming in. It loses the pace of the beginning. So just kind of like, I'm not going to say flattens, but it just loses its energy. I feel it kind of slows it down and just kind of
a little bit, maybe on purpose though, right?
That's just my opinion. I still like the song though.
So I got some notes. I got notes galore.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. Which I normally don't. I'm usually like fly off the seat of my pants kind of guy. But
that's me. I'm the seat of the pants guy.
Like Thursday night after I got home, I put it on again and I just started typing into my phone every song. Like for me, this song's all about groove. Like it's just fucking just the like when you say like the vocal
don't
line,
you think the groove kind of loses though when the singing
I think
comes
it's
in?
I think it's awesome.
So in my headset, that just came in, and absolutely agree with you, Seb. Sorry, Mike, it didn't
really
you there,
yeah.
But it just it literally as you said it, literally as Seb said it, it happened in my headset.
It's got some Enter Sandman vibe to it, very much. Like especially during the verse.
I think the drums are exactly the same from
it is. Of course it is. The chorus for me, there's a lot of Lane Staley on this record. James,
I'm glad you said that.
Like the chorus of this song is very Lane, like it's very Alice in Chains.
Oh my god, I can't believe you said that.
There you go. I'm not the only one.
You guys were gonna talk about this, and I was gonna throw this out there, and you guys laughed at me. I hear a lot of Alice in Chains.
Even in the guitar playing too. There's a ton.
And I was gonna say that the
absolute
bendy
ton.
Cantrell riffs, like the bendy sort of sludgy Cantrell. I was like, whoa, I think I'm listening to Alice in Chains.
It's like Cantrell came out to the farm for a weekend and they wrote a song together, and that's what this song kind of reminds me of.
Exactly what I was gonna say. And I know Cantrell and Ulrich are buddies, but I heard Alice in Chains, and I kept telling myself I'm gonna listen to it again and again. I'm like, this is Cantrell in here.
Yeah, I've got it in like 6 straight songs. Alice in Chains, Alice in Chains, Alice in Chains, Lane Staley.
They're massive. They've been massively influenced by Alice in Chains ever since the 90s, right?
Yep,
So
absolutely. Like during when they made Death Magnetic, I know that doesn't sound like Alice, but they had pictures of Lane Staley on their like their music stands to give them inspiration to write the best shit they could. Anyways, tidbit.
I mean, Cantrell toured his solo album with Metallica one
summer. He opened in 98.
At Thunderbird. Yeah,
saw them. Boom.
I know you were with me. I think all 4 of us were there.
I think that's when I caught his pick.
Yeah,
or I didn't catch it, but like after the concert,
he punched a 10-year-old in the face for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was lying on the ground.
None of a bitch.
Not the 10-year-old, the pick.
I hope the 10-year-old was lying on the ground after you punched him in the face.
No, like after the concert was over and the crowd was dispersing, I looked down and there's Kirk Hammett's pick. Just
nice.
I guess he threw it in and somebody caught it or didn't catch it, and it was just lying on the ground. I'm like, oh my god,
sweet.
I jumped on it like on all 4s and like I was defusing a grenade or something. I'll take one for the team.
You're taking one for the team.
Better for the team than from the team.
Yeah, I don't know. This song's simple. It's to the point, and I even told Cooper in the theater, I'm like, this will be the next video single that comes out, and sure as shit, this is the next single. It's very pleasing to the non-Metallica fan ear. Like my wife loved. She's like, yeah, this song cooks. Like it's for the non fan, right? For the new fan, because it's just like Enter Sandman Part 3.
Sleepwalk my life away.
Yeah,
you know the lyrics.
But you know what?
Whatever.
Even that title doesn't it just sound like, I don't know. It kind of sounds like my life. It's just, okay, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to come home. And
I think it sounds like a lot of our lives, right? It's just,
right. Like, I think that's, I mean, I don't want to speak for you guys, but there are days I'm like, what did I do?
Some days I prefer to say it's Groundhog Day every day.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Bill Murray hitting that fucking alarm. Oh, God, again and again and again and again.
Great movie, by the way. Bill Murray is a genius.
We'll definitely get some Groundhog Day. I mean, I specifically remember, like, I used to, when I was running the projection booth, I had 18 theaters and an IMAX to thread first thing in the morning, get everything ready. I would start at one end of the building. I would just go all the way to the other end. I would be on autopilot. I would turn around and I'd go, did I even do the other side? And I'd have to go back and check. I'm like, yeah, everything's done. Everything's perfectly threaded. It's just through the entire thing. And then it's like, okay, then I, clean something and sit down for an hour and a half while the IMAX run. Like, I holy piss, if that doesn't speak to the 40-year-old fan, I don't know what does.
Yep, absolutely.
You know that part at the front of the song there, it's like the pickups, scraping on the pickups.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a scratch on the pickups that's recorded.
It's doing like a pick scrape on the strings a little bit. Yeah.
I swear, if you listen to that in headphones, like I swear, like they recorded someone screaming into the guitar. And I think there's a voice, like I don't think it's just a pick and like
you're probably right.
I think you screamed into the pickups and recorded it. I think it was a cool idea. You got to listen to it really carefully, but I was like, wow, this is pretty neat.
They definitely do a lot of like interesting recordings, and I mean that all started with the Black Album when they had like the table of shenanigans that they were just using everything to make certain sounds to almost like folio sounds into their music, right? So I can see that them doing that. That's
the shotgun and
I'll have to,
God That Failed and
told
you not to fuck around.
Mascot is right.
Nice to be in Vancouver out of shithole LA.
Right? Come on back up and we'll let dogs chase you through the streets.
I love it. Fucking love it.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. You Must Burn. Now,
okay.
This is a 7-minute banger.
Let me go first on this one.
Absolutely.
As soon as I heard this song, I'm like, Mike's gonna like this song for sure. Okay, and going to Jeff's point, this is one of the strongest hooks on a chorus out of any of the songs. The chorus for this song is when he goes, "You must burn," and then he holds that burn. Like it's a good chorus. This is a good song.
Yes, it is. Very Black Sabbath. I got.
I'm waiting to see if Mike compares it to a specific Metallica song. So I'm going to let him keep talking here.
Okay.
I know exactly
my first line is heavy lip curling, slow headbanger, call back to Sad But True.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I heard. I'm like, oh, Sad But True, the secret. Like, yeah.
It almost could be Sad But True Part 2.
So I got it planned, and Mike is absolutely correct. I mean, it definitely has that Sad But True, but the pacing of it is very 2x4.
Yes.
Yeah,
very chug.
It's that groove, like that swing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like they've really embraced the swing on this album, and I love it. Like more 2x4, the better, right?
We're not in a hurry.
No,
we're a freight train.
Yep,
and we're gonna get there.
And we're running everything over in its path, and we're not stopping. What else do I have on here? I have the melody on this is really good. Like Seb said, like this is one of his stronger vocals on the record.
It's like probably the strongest.
And even lyrical content is so much fun. Burning Witches and just all that stuff is just it's cool. Like it's fun. Like they're digging into that Black Sabbath kind of,
He's definitely exploring a vocal space too.
Yes, and there's room to do it in the song. Like unlike some of the other ones that we've been talking, like Streaming Suicide, this song's got room to breathe and room for him to kind of take over vocally.
Yeah. Yeah, because the riff is slowed down. It's simple.
Yeah.
It allows the voice to actually do its thing instead of having to sing over a rip and riff.
Yeah, and then even in the bridge when they kind of go to that kind of
Alliteration, baby.
echoey, like weird Lane Staley, Alice in Chainsy vibe again when he's doing that sort of dreamy vocal
That really
sequence.
haunty, like that haunted.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and it's like, where's this been for the last 20 years? Like it's just been straight ahead. Now they're diverging, and like Seb said, they probably have the table of things to use and different. Just figure, let's just go all the way with this.
Put it in your musical arsenal.
Absolutely. You know, and we were talking about the wah earlier and how it's invasive. I thought in the bridge when Kirk brought the wah in, it fit really well. Like when they're playing that bridge riff, when Hetfield's not clean, but he's just distorted, and Kirk just decides to do it with the wah. I loved it. I thought, like, this adds some like sort of color and some beef to it.
Yeah.
Need more beef.
I just can't get over the chorus of the song. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
It just fits the song so well.
Now, since the last song was kind of Enter Sandman like, and this one is a little sad but true-y, quite sad but true-y. Like when they do their two shows, do you think they're going to play those two, and then the other show they're going to have Sandman and Sad but True, sort of? Like you're not
they
going
may
to
play Sad but True than this right after.
That I think no, I don't think
not?
why not?
Why don't let's say I got some questions on the whole concert vibe. We'll see what we have left at the end, or we may have to come back. We'll definitely come back for a review from Jeff after that happens. So and Seb, you have
that is my Twitch handle.
Nice.
AL.
So Seb's Twitch stream is getting some notice. Yeah, I mean, I dug it, and honestly, I have written in my notes better lyrics than most songs.
Yeah.
So like, this is definitely gonna be one that I'm hoping sticks with me. But
it's kind of got some like. Did you guys ever listen to Beyond Magnetic, the 4 extra songs?
Yes.
This has got some like Hell and Back kind of vibe to it a little bit. Like it's got that.
Yes. Yeah.
And Hell and Back again is very Alice in Chainsy, and it's just that mid-tempo, just kind of crawl. And this is kind of in the same vein, right?
Right.
Yeah. Like the last part of the song definitely feels very Alice in Chainsy.
Yeah. And I think Kirk, when before they played the song, Kirk did say like that sort of that riff I was talking about in the middle. He's like, that was one of his most favorite things to play making the record. Like it was just so much fun to do it. And it's all over the record. Fun guitar playing. Like they're just having a good time. They got nothing to prove. They didn't need to do this. They could have gone out and did this tour without a record and still sold out everything anyway. It's just icing on the cake.
I mean, there's a lot to unpack with the whole tour schedule. Seb, I cut you off there again. You had something coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, he did say, I can't remember what interview I was watching, but they said that they could definitely go the route of just a tour band just plays their hits and doesn't put them under the record, but they're not there yet. It goes it's something that they're not even considered.
Shit.
What do you mean? Making new albums.
Yeah, okay. I mean, they may not. They're there in the sense of they can do it because they're going to start cutting out favorites. I mean,
no. I mean, what I mean,
they're there yet as mentality as they're not finished writing songs. Absolutely,
they're not a legacy act where they just go where they tour casinos and just play their hits.
And I think Stranger Things.
Fuck, they aren't. They're not touring casinos.
Not.
Absolutely not. Touring casinos. No, they are absolutely a legacy act.
Yeah.
They will sell out. That you could cut everything out that they produced since 2000, and they could still tour and sell out stadiums.
Sure.
They are a legacy act. They're still making new music. Good for them. I'm here for it. But they are absolutely a legacy act, and they are a big-time, badass legacy act. Now, as far as making new music, if they want to make new music, absolutely, we'll listen. Clearly, we will listen. The people will listen. We will still show up. We will pay for the tickets. Some of us.
I think you're missing the point of what I was trying to say, though.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Elaborate.
They're not like, yes, I mean, they got a catalog of songs that they can play for sure, but they're not at that stage where they're done writing new music and they're just rehashing their old songs. They're not going to go on tour and just play all the old songs, just regurgitate them. They still want to create new music. They still want to write songs and they still want to create albums, right? So they're not there, like bands like, I don't know, Christ, like Nazareth doesn't write new music anymore,
No.
but they still tour casinos and play all their hits, right?
Even like a band like Motley
Like
Crue.
Motley Crue's, they're not writing new music.
Fucking suck. But
oh yeah, I mean these legacy tours the last few years, like almost festivals, right? The '90s bands are coming out and they're doing, the hip hop festival, they're doing the pop music festival, they're doing this, that, and the other thing. Metallica's they could do it. They don't need to. I saw Def Leppard in concert, and it was basically a greatest hits show, and I was fine with that.
Yeah.
It was still badass. It was still a sold out Rogers Arena, BC Place, GM Place, wherever they want to go, they're going to sell it out. Metallica has that option. Are they done writing the music? As Seb said, no, and that's fine. Here's a question that I want you guys to think about for a bit, and we're going to move on to the next song. Is making an album worth it these days? Or is it just as easy to drop singles? Chris Jericho's band Fozzy has said, we're not doing albums anymore. We're just going to, if we write a new song or a bunch of new songs, we're just going to release them as singles, because the reason for writing an album is to get a record out, and that's not the way music is consumed anymore. So let's think on that, and we'll come back to it towards the end of the show.
I have an answer for it now, but
yeah, go for it.
I think for a mid-level band, no. Like a band like Fozzy, bands that don't play big places, is it worth it? Fuck no. Singles are the way to go. But for a band that has the resources to make albums and maybe not make the big profit that it doesn't matter to Metallica if they make a huge profit off the record, because they know they're selling out Commonwealth stadiums all over the world and they're going to make millions, right? So, but for a band that's struggling, even like a band like Clutch plays the Commodore, but again, they still put records out. And they still think it's worth it. And they're their own record label. They're the masters of their own domain, and they're not slaves to anybody in terms of record label wise. They do what they want, and they still make records, and they're fucking good.
Did you say they're the master of their domain? Are we on Seinfeld?
Maybe.
All right.
I think it also depends on the genre of music that you're into. Like
Metallica
and Clutch, the reason they write songs and they construct songs is because they want to play it live in front of an audience.
Yeah.
Like look at Tea Party is like the best example I can think of where their music completely changes when you listen to them live versus listening to an album.
Absolutely.
It's on a completely different level when you experience Tea Party live. There's like a passion and a tenderness and like a in-depth feeling, emotion that you don't get on the album that you do when you see them live. So Arena Rock, Iron Maiden, like how many songs are phenomenal live, way better live. Same with Metallica. They write songs to be meant to play in a stadium in front of an audience.
And is Maiden a legacy act? Sure, sometimes.
Absolutely.
Well, they do two tours though, right? They do a legacy tour.
They do exactly. And when they tour the record, half the set is 3/4 of the record.
Well, they did it.
They don't give a shit what anybody thinks. They'll play like the first 8 songs and like, there you go.
Remember when we went to see them, they played the first 6 songs in a row. I think it was A Brave New World. They played
what the hell?
First 6 songs. I think it was 6 songs anyway.
I think it was 6
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're like, are they just going to play the whole album from front to back?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Because they literally just played the first 6 songs from the start of the concert, like halfway through almost. So,
and Steve Harris has said the exact same thing. He's been on Talk is Jericho talking about Maiden tours, talking about Senjutsu, talking about this exact same thing. And he's like, yep, that's what we're going to do. We're going to come out. We're going to rattle out most of this album. We're going to move on to some stuff. We'll finish off the album afterwards. We're getting into the weeds. Jeff, you got anything to add to this before we move on to our first single?
No, I'm good. Go ahead. You guys.
Let's go on to Lux. He's like, fuck these guys. What did I sign
These
up
guys
for?
talk way too fucking much.
Yeah, I warned him this would get it. Lux, a turn. I don't think we need to spend a whole lot of time.
No, we
on this
don't.
because we did.
It's fine.
It's Kill 'Em All horrific.
It's hit the lights 2023. That's what it is.
it's a one riff song, which is a banger thrash song. It's good.
Yep. It's 3 minutes, 22 seconds long. It's exactly what it needed to be. It was perfect for the first single. Fucking killer. So far, still my favorite song on the album. Moving along. Anything to add, Jeff? You got?
No, I mean that's the logical first single for radio too. 3.5 minutes. It's gonna get people hooked. You're not gonna put a 10-minute banger on, right? So no, that's a strategic one, and it's good.
It is one interesting tidbit of the song. It's one of the few Metallica songs that's not written in the key of E or D.
Yeah, it's A, baby.
It's in the key of A.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different key.
Yeah.
And that makes it pop.
Yeah.
It
A,
makes it pop.
it's bright and it's.
I'm pretty sure it's in the key of A.
Yeah, it's in the key. Yeah. It's like sunshine. It's awesome.
Yeah. Sometimes you just
rainbows.
Yeah, you just pop up with something different, something that's going to stand out. You know.
It may just be because it was the first song out, but it has significantly more views.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Than any other song.
Well, it's been out since November, so it's had
32, almost 33 million listens on Spotify, and then the second one would be "Screaming Suicide" at 12.5.
Yeah, I know this.
Let's revisit this in a year.
Yeah,
and
right.
We'll see how it changes.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so going up almost twice as long, Crown of Barbed Wire.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Jeff, go for it. Jeff, okay, we've woken him up.
Yeah.
I love this song.
Yeah.
There's a guitar sound in there that I've just stuck out with me when I heard it.
It's nasty.
It's nasty. Like, I don't know. I actually last night I tried to look up the tab for it to see actually what key and what tuning this song is in, but I bet you it's not conventional.
It is actually.
Is it really?
It's standard. I thought it was dropped, but it's standard. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's layered, and it's like, oh man, yeah. No, I love this song.
And that sort of breakdown in the middle when it's just that intricate little guitar thing, and then Lars just kicks in. It's like it gave this first time I got goosebumps on this record. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, the riff is so good.
And I think I said that to Cooper. I'm like, oh my God, we're in the theater, and I'm like, whoa. And it was just, And Seb, you'd like this video because it's basically the Game of Thrones intro with all the
really
all the
clockwork stuff. And
it's really cool.
I should watch that then.
Sorry, Seb, Jeff, I totally cut you off.
That's okay. The riff is it's really nice how it goes into this dissonant part and then resolves like just the one riff. It's very creative. I'm trying to place it to a similar song they've done, but I can't.
You can't. The thing that should not be, maybe.
That's probably the closest. Yeah,
like a Dream No More kind of thing.
Yeah,
a Cthulhu kind of vibe.
It's a better Dream No More, honestly.
Way better, absolutely. Yeah. So, are you? Oh, sorry, I'm so.
And once again,
go for it. Go.
The intro, the bass and drum intro, awesome. Like another one similar to Sleepwalk My Life Away, just really cool. I wrote down here, heavy as fuck. They just more groove. They're nailing that mid tempo thing. Another strong vocal. I find as the album is going on, the vocals are getting better for me, and he's just got this just sort of anger in his vocals. I got some COC vibes with a side dish of Alice in Chains, big time. And just the breakdown, like I talked about before, just like holy shit, like it's. Like
it's funny how the song that you guys like one of the most has the least amount of ride cymbal in it.
Yeah. you leave the ride cymbal alone.
I was gonna bang that drum.
Man, you gotta just feel it with the ride, baby.
Great song.
Matt, where do you fit on this?
This is another one that grabbed me. The music is great. The lyrics and delivery are good. It's the perfect length for the song. They aren't stretching it out like they do on 2 or 3 others in here, and it's not too short either. Like this jumped up and
it's long. It's long too, and it's not bloated like some of the other ones are kind of a little. You could cut a minute off of some songs.
72 seasons.
No.
72 seasons.
No.
I hear Alice in Chains big time.
Yeah, all day long. Yeah.
Time.
Overall, all day long. Yep. Yeah.
Even I don't know what guitars they were using or what amps he's running it through, whatever. But there's something like there. It's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, he played his Gibson copy from Kill 'Em All a lot.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the only use of double bass in any of the songs. I think.
No, there's double bass.
He rolls the double bass in this song for sure.
No, there is some. There's not a lot. There is some.
Is okay. I'll have to listen to it deeper.
Well, if you cannot hear the ride cymbal for 5 seconds, you might hear some double bass.
How can you not hear the ride cymbal?
Our focus is different.
It's
I
like
didn't
a
even
beacon
notice
in
it.
the light.
You know what? I'm just enjoying the fact they can still play.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I'm just happy that they're putting this shit out and they still sound good. Because how many bands that are 60 put out records, you're like, oh, good God. It's like, ugh. Okay, next, let's go back to the old stuff.
The solo's fine because I'm just at the solo part now.
Yeah.
It's nothing that really like pops out. It's not like the strongest part of the song, but
no, I don't think
it's serviceable, I guess.
It is. It's not meant to be, I don't think. I think it's just color at this point. Like it's just, filler is the wrong word, but it's color. It's just a sprinkle in some.
Definitely using a lot of wah in the guitar solo though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think the drums is the best asset of the song. Like you really, it's the highlight.
It's
sure.
It's simple, but it's just so effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lars getting him his time to sign there.
Yeah.
Your cat is everywhere as always. You don't have your headrest.
No,
Seb's having cat difficulties.
Yeah, for anybody that knows him, he's not actually going gray in the back. His cat just sleeps on the back of his chair.
Usually, yeah.
That's why I shaved this morning so no one could see my gray beard.
Fuck it.
That's why. Yeah.
Truth hurts, man. I'm getting old.
Wow,
anyway,
man.
moving on.
Yep.
It's only been 20 years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's a solid song.
Okay.
And Sarah's right in there as always, is sympathizing.
Right.
All right. Next up, Chasing the Light. You know what? This one grabbed me for a different reason.
Uh-oh.
Are
you gonna
it sounds like the entrance theme to a wrestler.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Really? You couldn't go a whole podcast without mentioning fucking wrestling.
No. Drink. But
you mentioned Fozzy and We Are Wasted, so
yeah.
That's true. Anyways,
it's got that scream of the vocal right at the beginning.
Uh-huh.
And then it goes into like it's a very
walking up to the ring.
Strut. It's a very strut thump chug to it.
It's the Lords of Summer.
Yeah,
perfected,
absolutely.
Right? That's what I got out of it. It sounds like Lords of Summer to me.
Here's my take. Worst song on the album.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mike, you have mentioned Metallica a lot
today.
today.
I can, and I have the last few. Actually, I have.
He has tried.
I have not brought them up on purpose. Thank you very much.
He has greatly tried. So coming soon, the At the End drinking game. Where
I just
chip spills out of our mouth, you drink.
Come May, I'm not going to talk about them once. Actually,
this might be the only song on the album that's a skipper for me. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't. I don't vibe with it.
Yeah.
Sell me on it.
I agree with you, Seb.
Yeah, it just doesn't do anything for me.
My least favorite song on the album. I don't know. It's something about the vocals I just don't like.
Yeah, the guitar's fine. The vocals are
Yeah,
but this
doesn't suit me. I might have to listen to it again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you're right, Jeff. It's the worst song on the album.
I mean, to be fair, my take only applies to the first 90 seconds of the song or 60. But I mean, the lyrics are now just sort of hitting my eardrums now, and I can hear what Jeff's saying. I'm not quite sure if it's a skipper for me yet.
I don't like the intro at all, but I like it as it goes on. Like, it's not my favorite by any stretch of the imagination. It's not a skipper, but I'll get there with. I'm going to end up skipping songs. I know I will. It's just the way
you skip Enter Sandman, so.
Well, you've heard it 85 billion times. So
but it's one of the greatest songs I've ever written.
Sure it is, but you don't need to listen to it. Because it's in here. It can't. It's just beaten into your head. But no, this isn't my favorite song either. I like it. It's fine. Like it's fine. Like it's all I got more Alice in Chains in the bridge. I don't know, some Death Magnetic vibes to it, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
That Lords of Summer, real Lords of Summer in the riff.
See, I think Lords of Summer is a better song. Honestly,
Lords of Summer is it's bloated. It's just bloated.
To me, Chasing Light is like the murder one of this album.
Oh, whoa, that's wow. It's not that bad.
Wow.
Murder one fucking sucks, but
maybe it's not that bad. But it just doesn't do anything for me.
The album. It's not terrible, but it's just okay. It's just there. It's just there.
Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, it does get slightly better near the end.
Solo's
Like when he does like the yelling chorus part, like that's fine.
The solo's good too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is this where we having our first? Are we having our first arguments? Is this where it started? Song.
You like it? I don't.
Yeah, whatever. It's hey, and it's fine. We can't like them all. Like
no.
I will say, compared to Hardwired, this is a much better record. Because Hardwired kind of no, just hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, no, hear me out. So you got the first 6 songs on Hardwired are fabulous, all the way up until Halo.
Yeah,
awesome. Man Unkind, meh. Here Comes Revenge, meh. Murder Once sucks. Then you got obviously the album Closer is one of the greatest of all time. We don't have to go there. Don't say it, Seb. Don't say it because Matt's gonna have to drink.
What song closes that album? I don't remember.
This okay. All right, we're gonna get into this right now. As an entire album, like if you take all of the songs and rank all the songs and put them into an average rating, 72 Seasons is a better album. When you look at the quality, when you look at the quality of the songs on Hardwired, there's like 3 or 4 songs which are way better than any song on this album. Like Spit Out the Bone, for example, Atlas Rise, I know you hate it, Moth and Flame, Halo on Fire. Those 4 songs are phenomenal songs. Phenomenal. Maybe there's one song on here that's better than those, except for Spit Out the Bone, because you know my passion about that song. But like in terms of hitting a home run with their songs, they hit more home runs through Hardwired than they did with 72 Seasons. That's my opinion.
Well,
not saying 72 Seasons is a worse album, but
I think my issue with Hardwired is the formula. I was just tired of the formula. Like it was like, okay, we got this is how we're doing it. We got these 12 riffs. We're just going to put them together, and that's we're doing the Metallica like we did on the Black Album, like we did on Justice, and all the way back. So, you know, and I'm not saying Moth is an amazing song. Hardwired, the song, I could take it or leave it. It's not that good. Like it's just
okay. I'll put it to you in this perspective: the peaks and valleys of Hardwires are sharper.
Yes.
And 72 Seasons threads at a higher altitude.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is that an analogy that makes sense?
Like Moth in the Flame is probably a better song than most of the songs on this record. Because when we get to Inamorata, I'm going to.
I know we'll get to that.
I'm going from the 4 to about
going ham
to about a 77, but.
Also, now that we're dead, I know you probably don't like it as much.
I haven't listened to it in a long time, actually.
If you listen to that song live, it is so good.
Which one? Which one are you talking about?
Now That You're Dead off Hardwired. That's so good live. Okay. But anyways, there you go. Wait, this way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I got nothing else. Nothing more.
Yeah, Tasting Light, it's fine. Like and the video. Okay, so the video in the theater, it was god awful. It was.
See, they didn't even put any effort into the song.
No, video. Look it up on because it's on YouTube. I'm sure it's on YouTube. Look it up. It is. It is the fucking worst because it was black and white lines pulsing the whole time, and it's just like, oh my! Like if you had some sensitivities. You would have been dead because that like it was giving both of us a headache. I'm just like listening to it going like this, going, oh my God. Like, what are you guys like? Who okayed this?
Yeah. So from what I'm hearing, a lot of the stuff they showed in the theater is the same stuff you can see on the Spotify as you're playing the song.
Okay.
Yes. And that was fucking irritating.
A tough watch. It was tough. Like it was just, oh my God, it was horrible. Anyways. And it took away from the song for me. Like it hindered the experience of my first listen. Was just like all I can see is in your face, and it was just like, go away, stop it, make the screen just go black. I'd rather just listen to it at this point. But anyways, moving on.
Cool. So next, we're just dealing with another minor technical issue here with with one of the feeds, but that's all right. Nothing major. If Darkness Had a Sun. I'm gonna make this short and sweet.
Matt's taking a shit.
Sounds like Justice. I am taking a shit. This is the skipper. Fuck this song. It's terrible.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, it's very Eye of the Beholder. Sure.
You are a crime against all that is Metallica.
Eye of the Beholder. Yes.
I like this song, but again, I will to get to the last 3. I'll skip it now. I like it. I love it,
Dude, I love this song.
I will move on from it because I have listened to it a ton.
Yeah.
Like it's good. Like it's got, classic. It's got some good chug, and it's, the vocals are good. It's just a little, I don't know. It kind of is toneless. Like the guitars are toneless.
You're toneless.
Maybe. You got a fucking problem with that? Why didn't you go
Dude,
bang
that
your rods?
riff is so fucking good, man.
Which
it's
one?
very like Outlaw Tourney, like meets Eye Beholder kind of. It's played in the same position too, as the outro riff to Outlaw Torn. But this song is great.
It is fun to play on guitar. I'll give it that.
That like chugging section. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not saying I don't like the song, but I like the last three far more than this.
Well, I will say this and about the song, which Jeff and I have basically gone ad nauseum throughout this podcast. The vocals fails the song. Like the vocals don't do anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been better vocally.
As soon as I heard Temptation, I got fucking PTSD going back to Some Kind of Monster for 2 years when he had that title, that song called Remember
Temptation Make You Dead.
And it was just a terrible fucking song, and Lars was like, "Oh my god!" And remember, as soon as I heard that, I went, "Oh god,
it's back."
When Lars's dad says you need to delete that.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, fuck. How bad was that album? But anyways.
Wait a minute! Didn't just last week you're like, "Oh, Saint Anger is like such a great."
No. Because they made an album before Saint Anger, and they scrapped it. That's what I'm talking about. How bad was that album?
Yeah, it must have been
right. The one with Temptation,
I would like to hear it.
And I'd love to hear it. I think there was one called Shadows of the Cross or something, and whatever else was on there. Bunch of shit. There's a compilation on YouTube. You can listen to it.
I listened to Saint Anger last night, just out of curiosity, real quick. I know you guys want to move on, but I put it in my headphones and listened to it again for the first time in a lot of years. And fuck, does it sound bad?
It's a hard listen.
Yes.
It's a hard listen, man.
Well, it's a hard listen, and you can hear a snare drum rattling. Like if you listen really carefully, it just sounds out of tune. It just sounds like the mics were off. It sounds rushed. It sounds like, holy fuck, the record company needs us to put an album out. It's been 2.5 years. Like, we got to do this. And it just, I don't know. That's my take on that.
Spent 15 minutes. They spent 15 minutes on each song. And we're done. We're good.
The whole concept of that album was, let's make a garage band album, but we're using millions of dollars worth of tools to make it sound like a garage album. Why didn't you just make a garage album then? Like, why? You didn't need to
hook up some amps and do some live drums, and you're done.
Just literally record it off 4 different mics as a live piece band, and then it would sound better than just trying to manipulate that sound electronically and production wise, because that's what they were doing,
And Garage Inc. is arguably the greatest sounding thing they've ever done. Like, it's just sonically sounds so good.
Jeff, have you ever listened to the? There's a YouTube album, Saint Anger, where a band redoes it with like proper drum sounds.
No, I haven't.
It totally changes the songs. Like when you actually hear, like they re-recorded the entire album. I can't remember what the band's name is, but they put it. It's out on YouTube. The whole album. It's like an hour long or whatever. But they play every song properly recorded and masters and mixed with proper drum sounds. Sounds good.
Well, they redid Some Kind of Monster, the song, and shortened it and put real drums on it. And it sounded good. Sounds like Metallica. But anyways, we're in the weeds again. We're moving.
Not a fan of the solo for this song, to be honest. I think it's just the solo. I think it's just kind of like patched together.
What are we talking about?
The solo for Darkness.
Oh yeah, we're still there. Okay. Yeah, it's just,
it doesn't fit the music time.
You should watch the Kimmel one because it's a completely different solo and it's not good.
Actually, does it sound good?
No, there was some element. There was some elements. There was some like he brought in a couple of the elements, but most of it was improv. And you're like, oh, what are you doing? Just play the fucking solo.
He's not a good. I'm sorry, I don't think Kirk's a very good improv guitarist.
Probably not. You know what? And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's how you do, that's how you do. Some people are great improv guitarists, which is why you don't get the same solo live as you hear on the album. And some people have a problem with that. However he puts it together, I don't care, if he improvs his ass off the entire time or if he sticks to a script. I could make a comparison, but Michael yell at me again.
I will. Please don't.
Anyways, let's go. Let's go. Let's move on to Too Far Gone.
Too Far Gone?
Too Far
With a
Gone.
question mark. With a question mark, of course.
Oh, yes, I see.
Too Far Gone?
Okay.
I love this song.
So let me say this.
Uh-oh.
This is the most.
Moving on. Steps go ahead.
Moving on. This is the most change that I felt in any song on the album. Like when it first started, the song opened, I was like, But as I started like going through the song, I liked it more and more and more. And then the harmony parts at the end with the guitars, I'm like, this is a good song. Like I completely changed my opinion of the song from the beginning to the end. Yeah. It's
got a little no remorse meets the end of the line. That's kind of the vibe I got.
Yeah. So before we get too deep into comparisons, put it on any other Metallica album. Which album is it? Where does it fit best? It's actually in my notes, my opinion. So I'm curious as to you guys.
I have it on
Kill
right
'em
now.
all.
No, I think Death Magnetic.
Jeff?
No, you just said no remorse. It's got a very no remorse feel to it.
I would say Kill 'em all, but that's going back a long time. I mean, I know that's probably, I don't know.
Yeah, I see. I had it on Ride.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I think it's Ride-tastic.
I love the vocals. The vocals are so good on this song for me. Like that, when he's doing that, it's just awesome. I don't know.
This goes back to my point about how a chorus just brings the entire song together. Because when he hits the chorus with the Too Far Gone, like that just brings the entire journey of the verse and the intro to a point, right?
Yeah.
So the ending of the song is the best part, though, for sure.
That's some of the best guitar work they've ever done. Like it's just it's so good.
And then the slight key change where it just drops a little bit in the chorus. It's yeah.
This is a good. It's weird,
dude. I totally hear Kill 'em all in this.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. I hear like a combination of almost everything in this song. Like even some Misfits vibes to it, especially with the vocally some Glenn Danzig in there.
Fuck, those two guitar harmonies at the end is so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, what are you thinking here? I can see you got some thoughts.
I was just listening to the harmonies of the guitar. I just fast forward a little bit and listen to what Seb just said, and it's like that's Metallica right there, boy.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
That harmony guitar part.
Yeah, and then the vocals come in over top of the harmonies a little later on. Yeah. So good.
I think the key point to musically sounding like an earlier album, whether it's, Kill 'em All or Ride, going back to the added bonus to it is James sings a billion times better than he did on either of those two albums. Yeah. So his
vocal work on Kill 'em All is some of the best he's ever.
Yeah. No Life to Leather. We're going to kick your ass tonight. Come on, man. Some deep shit.
Lyrically, sure. Yeah. Let's again highlight the fact that there's a difference between vocal work and lyric work, shall we?
Right? Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys see them do Blackened acoustically on Stern?
Yes.
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh my god.
Was it good?
Like we were talking about about James's vocals. That song was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
It gave me goosebumps. I'm like, is this really the arrangement and the way they're playing the song and his singing and the attitude and that little thing? It was so different.
They changed the entire flavor of the song too. Like it sounds so. It's got a different feeling to it.
It was like a bluesy, dark room kind of bar, smoking a cigar, kind of I don't know. I was just like, wow.
Yeah, like the main riff for Blackened, it was more like a gallopy riff instead of like the staccato that you get in the metal version.
Yeah.
Like the distorted version is very like but the acoustic version was very fluid and bluesy, like you were saying.
It was very bluesy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Too Far Gone, thumbs up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, and as far as the Stern thing goes, I'm fascinated by this. So, for those
by Howard Stern,
absolutely. Blackened by Howard Stern, fantastic. For those listening along and for those with us live, I'm going to post the YouTube clip of that to the show page because I'm personally fascinated by it, and your reviews here have just
I'm going to check it out.
It's warmed the subcockle region of my heart for the Dennis Leary fans out there. All right. Anything else with Too Far Gone?
Why is it a question mark? The,
You know
the
what?
title
Maybe
is Too Far Gone with a question mark at the end of the
Gone?
G.
Is he too far gone?
Is
Yeah,
it,
maybe
am I too far
it's-
gone?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that could exactly be it because James has gone through some shit in the last few
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
right? I mean, the 2000s have both been kind and unkind to that man.
Yeah, they have.
He's battled some demons. He's
Yeah.
had some relationship issues.
Some
So
self-reflection going on, right?
Like
yeah,
that
absolutely.
is a very good point, though. It's like, why, when you look at a song title, not just Metallica, do people put punctuation marks in their song title? Like,
Mhm.
what does it signify for that song?
Yeah.
Like, You Must Burn has an exclamation point behind it.
Yeah.
Those are the only two songs on the album that have punctuation. So it's definitely a statement of something. It's supposed to signify something. So maybe he doesn't even know the answer to that.
I don't think he does. I think
that's he's asking the question, right?
Yeah.
Am I too far gone? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Room of Mirrors, boys. Room of Mirrors.
Another.
Oh, I got to fuck you out of there.
Look, yeah, another banger. I got a real Merciful Fate vibe out of this song from Garage Inc. when they did the compilation of the Merciful Fate stuff, and just some more just sick riffage. I think the vocals are really good. Like for a song at this pace, like he sounds really good, and I don't even know what the lyrics are because I haven't listened, maybe looked at them, but it's fun. And the harmonies, good God. I wrote down here, more harmony, good God. Like it's just the guitar harmonies in this record are as good as anything they've ever done, guitar-wise. Like, and that's a bold statement, but I think in terms of them playing their instruments, they're as connected as they'll ever be. Really.
Extremely deep.
Yeah.
Like if you look like the first three lines, in a mirrored room, all alone I stand, strip away the phantom fame.
Yeah.
Like that's like, whoa.
Yeah, because Hetfield had a little monologue before the song came on, and he was talking about like, when I get off tour, I'm this guy, and then I come home and the people in my family are like, no, you're not that fucking guy. So you need to check your shit before you walk in the door. And clearly he's struggled with that because his life is, blown up. But
I think it was actually an interview with James I read or saw where it's like, I come home like this, and the wife's like, yeah, that's great, badass. Here's the garbage. There's the can. Make it happen.
Exactly. Go clean the litter box
like,
while I read it, shithead. And
here, Jamie, go wash the car.
You just
yeah, Jim, come on, go take care of that, will you?
You were just out having, a 500 million fans figuratively suck your dick. Now it's time to get down and worship the Queen. Like, sorry, that shit don't fly. You walk in this door, you are still number 2 on the totem pole, 3, 4, and 5, depending on how many kids are home. Right?
Yeah.
And that's it. I think if you really look at a lot of people in that sort of situation, whether they're a big time athlete or an actor or a musician, what they get walking out the door and bringing it home, two very different things. And I think that's probably a big reason you see a lot of them go through 2, 3, 4, 5 wives, not just sex, drugs, rock and rolls, and groupies. It's just
when I was in theater school, because I did a year intensive theater school, we got trained very early on to do a cleansing exercise, because a lot of the work you're doing is you're channeling dark emotions and trying to get into the role of certain characters. So there's a lot of like work that you have to do, and sometimes you could feel very uneasy about things. So there was an exercise we used to do. It's like a cloud exercise where you imagine yourself in a cloud just washing away everything. And it was mandatory that you do that, because the heaviness that you can take home with you from doing a bad project, like Heath Ledger's the perfect example of that. He couldn't shake the darkness of the Joker because he had to portray that. Like, it's a real thing. So to be able to reset and just leave it at your workplace and not take it home with you is a very challenging thing for a lot of artists in any field. So I
think these are some of his best lyrics, I think, on the record. Like Jeff said, they're very deep, they're very personal. Like there's just the one line, in a mirrored room, just a simple man, naked, broken, beaten, scarred. What do I really know? The fear of letting go. Like, it's like, dude's got problems, man, and he's still, after all these years and multiple trips to rehab, trying to figure it out. He's probably been in therapy for the last 25 years too.
I saw an interview real quick, like this morning, on something on TikTok. He was very, very candid, open, very vulnerable. Not the James Hetfield that we've known for 5 years, but he was talking about how he blamed a lot of his a lot of the stuff that was going on his parents.
Yeah.
Right. Childhood
Mhm.
stuff.
Sure.
Mom died, dad left, and he was stuck with his brothers. And he said, I finally just I realized that I can't blame them anymore. I'm in control of what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So sobriety is one of them. I know his marriage has ended, but
That's like reason. That was like last year he filed for divorce, I think, wasn't it? Or
yeah, he's got an
Yeah, it's relatively recent.
yeah,
I think it might have been one of those. The kids grew up and you look at each other going,
Yeah.
are
We
we
don't love
done?
each other."
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're done.
Well,
And
especially
that's it.
since he's got road life.
You can't
right?
be
Like-
easy to live with. You cannot be an easy man to be around.
I
Right?
well, no, I mean,
You
and then
kicked
you
him out
have
of the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
you have the internet issue too, where sure the internet can be fucking detrimental. Like never
Mm-hmm.
read the comments if you're a struggling artist, but at the same time, if you read the comments and you are God to
Mm-hmm.
a
Didn't he
legion
miss-
of fans,
yeah.
like
You don't feel
I
like a
mean,
god sometimes.
no, you probably and that creates a
Forever
big
for that. Yeah.
that can create a big mental rift, and it is definitely an issue.
Didn't he miss like the first birthday of one of his
Yes.
kids? 'cause
Yeah. He went to
hunting or
Russia. He
something?
had to go to Russia
Yeah.
to go hunt polar bears.
Yeah.
and drink.
and he's drinking vodka
He drank
in
vodka.
Siberia.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
saw that. That was
Wasn't some
a
kind
big,
of monster. Yeah.
Yeah.
big part of the breakdown than Some Kind of Monster.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Room of Mirror goes, this one might be a song that turns around for me the most on the album.
Mhm.
Just listening to you guys talk, and I'm reading the lyrics, and I got it going in my headset.
Yeah.
My first listen to this was generic as fuck.
Yeah, that
Like,
was kind of
this-
where I was at too. A little bit.
This, I mean, you might as well have slapped the Kirkland fucking brand on it and just released it as a single,
Oh, it's
right?
better
Like,
than Kirkland. Come on, let's go. Western
and
Family
then
Blues.
friend of the show, Sarah, turned around and mocked up the title of the song in the No Name brand font, which I thought was hysterical. I almost put it in the opening just to
Of
fuck
course
with
you
you
did.
because it would match the album cover in the black and yellow. But I'm like, yeah, you know what? No, I mean that's funny for us, but listening to you guys talk about it, breaking it down, because I've only heard it. I'm listening to it for the second time right now. My initial thing was generic as fuck. It could be wrong. This might be the big turnaround for me on this album. I'm gonna leave this in my Spotify playlist and just hit the random and let it go and see where it lands.
Let it simmer with you for a
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
Because it is. I mean, this is going back to the difference between making albums and dropping singles these days. Load a couple of those songs on Load grabbed you by the balls right off the bat, and so you listen to those, but you're in the car. It's like, well, I'm doing 90 down the freeway. I'm not going to start fucking with the CD player now.
Yeah.
So it catches up and it grows on you, right?
Yeah.
And then you find, like I was saying with 72 Seasons, I find myself walking around singing the song, right?
Mhm.
That's
So
catchy as hell, man.
I mean, and that's so. I mean, this might be the case for me, but first play, it did not come out of the gates doing anything wow like some of the other tracks did, specifically Sleepwalk. I mean,
well, I think there's a reason why it's number 11 on the record too, right? It's
Mhm.
not the greatest thing they did, but they probably had fun doing it and they liked it. And it was just okay.
Yeah, and
we'll put it at the back to set the table for Inamorata, which is
I think this is the deep dive song on the album. It's got the least amount of listens. It's one that most people that are casual fans will just not even care about. But if you deep dive the song, there's a lot there.
Yeah.
There's a lot there emotionally for James. There's a lot there lyrically. There's it's a song they wrote not to please people, but they wrote for themselves, I think.
Yeah.
So
do they play it
like
live?
it.
Do they play it live?
I don't think so.
So here's a question. You're talking about a deep dive. Is this going to end up being one of those deep cuts? Down the line where somebody goes, "Oh yeah, there's this song. Like, oh, that's a deep cut, and that song is badass."
I think Crown of Barbed Wire will be the deep cut.
Okay.
It's a real gem. That it's kind of like Fixer in that sense, where it's like, holy shit, this song is buried at the end, and it's one of the greatest things they've ever wrote.
I was trying to come up with comparative Fixers exactly. Jeff, what do you think on that?
I agree with Seb.
Okay.
100%.
All right. Perfect. Yeah. So track 11 on the album. Speaking
Fixer
of 11,
Part 3.
Fixer Part 3.
Okay.
Speaking of 11 minutes, 10 seconds.
Fuck yeah, man.
Doesn't feel like it though.
And it could have been 20. I'd have been fine if it was 20. Like okay.
Go nuts. Inamorata, go nuts.
So,
You've been waiting for this for an hour and 39 minutes.
I've been waiting ever since I saw the track listing. I had no idea how long the song was. Just the title really, really intrigued me. The Latin for like her love or your whatever. I can't remember.
And then Mike read what the song was influenced by, and he number 4'd on the Randy Marsh.
Pretty much. So in the theater when we saw this, like I was like, once Darkness Had a Sun was done, we had the last 3, and I'm like, I just want to get through Room of Mirrors, and I can't remember the other song's name. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Too far
gone. Just to get to this, and then so the description before, like Rob talks and Lars talks, and this is a Hetfield Ulrich song. This is James all day long, but Lars made jokes how it's a short little ditty that's 3 minutes. He's like, oh wait, no, it's our longest song ever. He made jokes about that, but Rob's thing was it reminded him of driving down the highway with the top down, the music cranked. Obviously me and Jeff have a problem with hair blowing in the wind because we don't have that capability, but he's like, yeah, hair's in the wind, the top down, you're cruising down the highway. And I'm like, yeah, so Matt could do it. Matt could do the impersonation. And so like, and then when it started, I was kind of thinking it would be like not quite as like first of all, my first note was full stoner metal. What the fuck? Like they totally switched genres to something they've never even tried to do before, which is really part of the beauty of this song. Like I've got like lines of notes. Like I've got, see if you can even see it. I have all that written just for Inamorata. I don't know if I'm going to talk about all of it, but because a lot of it is just kissing their ass and
he's a fanboy. He's simple.
Yeah, we just went over how that's bad for James's ego.
It is, right? And
so, like for just real quick, for those that are not watching along with us, Inamorata is a person's female lover. And then used in a sentence, his new Inamorata is a 22-year-old mannequin named Jennifer, which is weird, but I pulled that off the internet. So there we go. As you were, Seb or Mike.
So
sorry.
The video I think was one of the strong. They weren't in the video. This was just basically like there was like this sort of distorted glass, and it was like one man standing there, and then Misery, which is the lover, which she would appear from time to time and just be right in front of him, and it was. Just the visual was so
Misery is my female lover.
Yes.
Always coming back.
And it's like the lyrics in the song, like she loves me, I love her more. And it's just for me, okay. I wrote down, I'm gonna read everything. You guys are gonna laugh at me.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes. I'm used to it and I don't fucking care. For me, this is the best song they've ever done. Ever.
No. What? Okay.
No, for me emotionally, like I'm going like this song hit me deep, like really, really deep, and I can't stop listening to it. And I get goosebumps, and I want to not cry, but like I get fucking tears welling when I listen to the song.
The lyrics are super powerful, man.
And I'm trying not to cry now, but
it's very powerful.
Like this is the greatest.
There's two songs that do that for me. One is Ghost Love Score by Nightwish, and the other one is.
I'm crying on camera. There you go, guys.
That's okay, Mike. I have the same emotion with Bleeding Me, actually.
Yeah,
because that hit me at a time in my life where it made sense that I would resonate towards that song. So that's the special place in my heart. But
yeah, that's where the song fits for me. Is like it's just we all have shit going on, and this song just is what I needed. Like it's just it's exactly what I need. Oh fuck.
Mike, I speak for everyone here and that's watching and listening that we respect and appreciate your vulnerability.
Oh yeah, it's just popping out. This this song is just everything to me. It's the fucking greatest thing ever. That's all I'm gonna say.
Good song.
Yeah. I've just looked at the lyrics now. I listened to the song. I'll be honest. I ended it about 2 minutes before it ended last night. But looking at the lyrics now, and I actually got goosebumps.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing the same thing as Jeff. I agree.
And the guitar work is like it's out of this fucking world. Like it's the harmonies at the end. Like I'm pretty sure Hetfield has a solo near the end. There's just so much feel and so much emotion. And like if this is the direction they're gonna go for the last say 10 years of their career, fuck yeah, bring it on. Like this is as good as I don't know. Like I just
Here's
so
what's
good.
interesting about this song is
man.
Metallica's not a stoner rock band,
Not at
but
all.
they're like, hey, let's write a stoner rock song.
Yeah.
And they write this song, and it's probably one of the best stoner rock songs that's ever been written. Like
And
that's a pretty bold statement, but
like
it's
I know,
so fucking good.
and like I know,
not
Master
the best,
Puppets,
but one up there.
Like, you know, Puppets is the greatest song. Really, it is the greatest song ever written. But fuck, this song in the last 30 years. Let's even go 30 years. This is the best thing for me they've done.
Spit out the bone.
Oh fuck! This is. There you go, Matt. Thank you. We should have a count going on how many times you've said that. But
spit out the bone.
Yeah.
To me, this is a song about conflict with your relationship and your band.
Yeah. Right. And just oh my god. Like I also put like it's I had a combination of two songs. Like it's like if it's Fixer meets Orion.
Okay.
Yes. So
Right?
I didn't really it didn't click for me until about 6 minutes into the song.
Really?
Where it was good.
The interlude popped in?
Yeah, when it went into the quiet part with just the hi-hat and
such tender lyrics, such tender vocals.
into for me, songs that resonate the deepest with me are the ones that have a personal journey attached to it, that seem to come from a very deep emotional place. And this song, when you hit the middle part of it and James starts singing all tender, it just screams for some core thing he's connected to deep in his soul.
Yeah.
So
man. This is some of the deepest shit he's done.
Yeah.
This is like ripping your fucking insides out.
Yeah.
Putting the pieces on the table and examining them all.
Yeah.
She loves me, but I love her more. She kills me, but I end the war. She feels me, but she's not what I'm living for. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah. Like just
Jeez.
Yeah.
Like I wrote down, like it says, it's like the Fixer meets Orion, but with an older, natural feel or older, mature feel, and the different kind of urgency. And I wrote, if this is the last song they ever put out, I'm okay with that because this is easily this is off. Like it's just.
Whoa! That's. Hold on. I need. Hold on. I'm gonna need to unpack this one here. Now, since Lux came out, you've been absolutely high on the fact that your favorite band of all time is still
kicking ass,
pumping out new music. That's debatable.
And we don't know the future.
And you know what? You've been fairly adamant that you want to keep hearing more music.
I do.
I absolutely repeatedly through this podcast. So for you to turn around and say just now, if this is their last new song, so if from here on out, all they are is that stadium band that goes out on tour for, the summer, hits festivals, hits a couple of big cities, and that's all we get. You're good with this now. This is a point right now you can go, you know what? There may be a little bit more meat on the bone, but I don't need to suck that chicken wing dry. That's what you're saying.
I think they're ending on such a high. You can't, no pun intended, the stoner rock thing. They're ending with so much power that, you'd be, I'd
honestly, I think.
No, hold on. I want to hear the rest of Mike's thing because this is a very powerful statement what he's making here.
Like Lars has said, they've got hopefully 10 years left with their if they stay healthy, and like when this ended for me in the theater, I was like, not like it's not like I feel it's completed, but I just think it's such a powerful statement that they'd be okay. Like Hetfield could be okay saying, you know what, I've said all I need to say and we're good and I'm good. Like, I think the song's very therapeutic.
But they have to write Unforgiven 4 still.
I'm getting deep. I
tried
5 minutes ago and now you're being a dink.
Tune in next week where you'll get to see Matt smash Seb live.
Comedy and laughter.
I
think they have one album
around your head right now.
But yeah,
I honestly think they have one album left.
Oh, I do too. I absolutely. I think they're out there on fire and they're going to put out more stuff. But
I see what you're saying though, Mike. If they never put out another album, like God forbid something happens, like let's say Lars gets in an accident or something happens, right, where they can't do music anymore. Yeah. It's a strong last song to go out.
It's a strong statement to go out on, and It's kind of like Iron Maiden with Hell on Earth out on the end of Senjutsu.
So good, man.
Arguably the greatest song in my mind they've ever written, and it's like a 12-minute fucking marathon, and it's kind of like it's same vibe as this song. But
okay, so I'm gonna make an analogy here. This to you is, and we have a show upcoming on this of series finales for TV shows. This to you is much like the Big Bang Theory's finale was for me. There is still a lot they can do afterwards, but the finale put such a bow on it that even though, spoilers ahead, the gang is still all together. It's not like another finale like Friends where everybody split off, or MASH where everybody went home. The gang is all still in the living room having dinner like they've always had. But that's it. It's like this is our peak.
Yeah.
Sure, we could do more. There's still a lot of meat on the bone. There's still a lot of stuff we can unpack, a lot of material we can address. But this, we're good.
Yeah. This song is such a high peak for me. Like I've never thought, like I said at the beginning, like I've been waiting for this record for 25 years. I've been waiting for this song forever.
Okay.
Like right?
It speaks to you from the core.
That's you know, Seb, you've been in this our show chat offline where we plan these things and bust each other's balls. So you know exactly how militant Mike has been about how awesome it is they're still making music and how much more time. So for Mike to turn around and say, this is the high water mark, this is where it would be okay to go. That's a powerful statement, Mike.
And it's okay. Like and I'd be okay with it. Like if they ended after Hardwired, I'd be like, oh fuck, great, okay, sure, Spit's an amazing song, but it doesn't reach me like this.
Well, I mean, sometimes you end like The Sopranos, where it's just it doesn't do well, and that would have been a Hardwired.
But Spit Out the Bone would have been a good fitting ending.
Okay, I'm all out of orange juice and coffee now. Thank you.
Tell me there's liquor in there.
Matt would be on the floor if there's liquor in there. You've said that song so much.
I know, that's why I keep
that was just orange juice. I may have had a cinnamon toast coffee with some Fireball.
And I am going to say too, to share this with you guys has been really fucking special.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? That's cool. Jeff, it's hard getting a word in edgewise with these two on Metallica, and you know, I get off on my own rants. How are you feeling about this? How are you feeling about Mike's statements?
I really agree with him. To see that kind of emotion is. Now I know what you mean. This it got you right. There's sometimes things just get you, and there's a meaning for everyone else. You know, different things, different meaning for people. I think that for years there was unfinished business with this band.
Absolutely.
I think we all waited, and I feel talking about this has sort of jarred a few things. I feel like this closes a chapter. I feel like that song may be a goodbye.
Yeah.
It's got that vibe to it.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's got like a we're not going to say it, but it's like we've now closed the book. 42 fucking years put together. End on that note, and I'm totally fine with no more records. I don't know if you could top this one again. At 64 or 65,
no,
whenever they're done the world tour, and then go out and play them live at that kind of speed and athleticism. I don't know. I'm good now. I just feel like the chapter's been closed.
Yeah.
For me.
It's like Usain Bolt winning his last gold medal at the Olympics, doing it when he shouldn't have. He was already too old. He was over the hill and he fucking blew everybody away. Still. And that's what even this whole album, but that's what this song is to me. Like it's
I will say this about this song, like from a technical standpoint, I don't see a single flaw in this entire song. From the vocal line to the way the vocals are sang, to the drums, the bass, the guitar work, the combination of all of it. The only thing that some people might say is it's a tad long, but those people don't respect songs of journey as songs of growth. Basically.
Like this song, it's a real journey. Like it's a real journey. Yeah,
it fits with their style of last track songs, basically.
Especially like in the last 30 years, like with the longer, like the Outlaws and Pictures and Spits and.
Well, I mean, and we discussed it I guess a couple months ago now, where ending. Was it Reload? They ended with Memory Remains, or was it the album that I kind of mocked up?
I think it was the ones we mocked up.
Yeah,
because Reload is Mixer and then Load is Outlaw Torn, and it's just
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that closing song. I'm going to agree with that. I only listened to this once. It was 11 minutes. I was sort of right at the end of it. It was a long day. I have in my notes way too long.
I do. Some people might find that. Honestly.
Some people do.
But you know what? Here's the thing: is this could change with repeated listening.
Mm-hmm.
Just since we've gone and we've unpacked a lot of stuff. So much like Room.
Clearly, I've got issues too. That's what we also unpacked.
We all have issues.
Yeah.
Hi. They're right behind me.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I have as many up here as I have behind me.
Yeah.
And I like the bass interlude in the middle too. Like, give me I'm a big fan of a solid bass riff. I mean, going back to Kill 'Em All, Anesthesia from Cliff, absolutely.
Anesthesia,
like you give me, and the bass players a lot of the time in rock music, they kind of get overlooked. They're kind of just the guy over there with the big cock that's gonna deal with the leftover groupies from the front man. But when Rob gets to highlight with this. I'm just watching Jeff laugh at that. Rob gets a couple of really good highlight moments on this album, whether it goes back to Shadows or this. And again, it's got a lot of that chug rock, that slow moving freight train.
It's that slow moving groove that just gets me. Like it just, I don't know. It just, like Jeff said, pulling your insides out and examining them. That's what the song is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
yeah, I think unpacking a lot of the lyrics here today, which I didn't have a chance to do. I didn't have a chance to listen to it nearly as much as you guys have had. So overall, guys,
I'd be curious to see I got one more thing. I'd be curious to see how long the original cut of the song was, because this is a song you could play all day long.
Oh, they're still recording it,
right? Like
they just put stop and there's
because they had to cut it somewhere. I think it was one of those ones they just got in the room and started playing, and it was probably 20 minutes. I bet you they cut it in half. They could have gone all day long with this. So it just, I don't know. I'd love to hear an uncut version.
Let me ask you 3 questions about the album before Matt wraps it up. Number 1, which song are you looking most forward to them playing live?
I'm gonna have to go with either Sleepwalk or Lux myself. That may change because I got repeated, but yeah, those are the 2 that really popped for me right off the bat.
I will say for me, it's Inamorata. If they ever do play it live, I don't even know if that's a song they would play live, but they also didn't think we were going to play Halo on Fire live. And when they played that live, that song just was fucking off the charts. Good live. That's it for me. What about you, Mike or Jeff?
Go ahead, Jeff.
You Must Burn.
Yeah,
good call. Good call.
Crown of Barbed Wire really sticks out to me. I think but a lot of these songs, I think the tempo is going to be hard to nail because they tend to play faster live, and a lot of these songs are so tempo dependent.
Yeah.
And if you speed up You Must Burn, you speed up Crown of Barbed Wire, or even Inamorata, they aren't going to come across the same, right?
No.
Yeah.
You have to nail the tempo.
Like after like an encore, come out and play one of the longer, slower tempo ones.
I could see Inamorata being the first song out of an encore, honestly.
Oh,
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it'd be so good.
Right into Fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Inamorata into like Blackened and closing with like Hit the Lights or something. So like, good, come on. Like,
okay, let me flip that on its head. What if they opened with it? They come out to Ecstasy of Gold, go right into Inamorata, and then they kick the crowd in the ass.
I don't think they'd ever do that. Sad to say, I would probably fall over, and
that's a completely different setting the tone completely differently.
That's
concert,
my point.
Right? Actually, you know what? That's a good point because it's a 2-day concert, so they might do different flavors on each of the days.
Yeah.
So they might do like a banger thrasher day and then do more of like a retrospective, introspective day too, right? So
The reason I say that
Interesting.
is when I saw Pantera live, they opened with Suicide Note Part 1 and Part 2. Suicide Note Part 1 is very slow, very
Oh, yeah.
mellow.
That's a
And
beautiful
Part
guitar.
2
Is the
jacks everything up. It
Yeah.
is you could not get more opposite. So they started very slow, very mellow, and then they just I've never seen a mosh pit go from everybody smoking a joint and being mellow to just banging off the walls. So that's why
That's a really
I
good
say
point.
go from Ecstasy to Inamorata and then drop in something like Ride the Lightning,
Creeping
or
Death or something like they
Creeping
always like
Death.
to play second.
Yeah,
Because they're going to play 72 opening one of the days, right?
Yeah.
It's a guarantee,
Yeah.
basically. They
They
always
always
play
play the titles.
they always play the first song off an album.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm really interested to see how this goes for Jeff down the line. I think we're going to have to revisit this live concert, especially since now Mike's got a bug up his ass, and it's entirely possible he's going for tickets.
It's a giant fucking bug.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who he's gonna fucking drag along with him?
Not his wife.
Nope.
Yeah, that's not. Okay. Next question. Which song absolutely does not belong on the album?
I would have said Room of Mirrors earlier, but having unpacked it a little bit, you know
have
what?
to answer.
I'm going back with Darkness. Like, if Darkness had a son, like get fucking rid of that thing.
Chasing Light, man.
Toss it.
Chasing Light for me.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
You take that.
Light for me too.
Yeah, you take that off the album, nobody will even notice it's gone.
No, you're right. And I think even for me, Shadows Follow a little bit is kind of fits in that. I like it, but I'm good. It's okay. It's because on a lot of their records, the number 2 track is always, either been the title track or something really memorable. Shadows Follow, even Atlas Rise. I hate it, but it's a memorable song.
Yeah, you're right.
Shadows Follow does not deserve to be in the 2 slot. You know what I mean? Like it's
They typically open with a banger, and then the second song is like a memorable song.
Yeah, and Shadows Follow is not that. I'd even rather have seen Screaming Suicide 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Okay.
Like I understand the whole sequencing, and they did it for a reason, but I would have maybe flipped a couple of the songs. I would have moved, Suicide to 2.
Yeah, the order seems a bit bizarre.
I even would have put Darkness at 3 and Shadows Follow at 9. Because
I think the only one that fits in the slot is in a Murata. Everything else you could reorganize.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, last question.
100%.
Last question. What song do they open the concert with?
I think Mike nailed it with 72.
Day 1 will be 72, and I think day 2 will be something
old.
I think Lux, man. I actually think Lux.
Lux would work because it sounds older.
Okay. 72 one day and Lux the next.
Yeah.
Right.
I can see that.
I think that's where it is.
Because Hetfield wanted to name the album Lux Eterna, and
He wanted that song first, and he got outvoted.
Fair enough.
I gotta go with Hetfield. I think Lux Eterna would have been a better opening song. You swapped them, Lux and 72 Seasons.
I think with after You Must Burn and Sleepwalk My Life Away, things are dragging a bit. Like it's slow, it's sludgy, it's muddy. Lux is this quick. Okay, we're waking you up in 3 minutes. You guys are back. And then
I see why they put it there.
Right? Like it kind of makes sense to have it 6 to wake everybody up, but
it could also be like no, because the last half is significantly longer than the first half. But I was gonna say Lux Eterna, if you're doing the classic cassette style, would have been the first song on the B side.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
If you had to flip it, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the difference between cassettes and records and then CDs and streaming is you're essentially creating 2 smaller albums.
Yeah. A part A and a part B.
Lars brought that up during his little blurbs about everything, and if it on the cassette, the first song on side B is Crown of Barbed Wire.
Okay.
Lux closes the first side. Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw Amazon selling a cassette.
Close.
Yeah.
Amazon is actually selling a cassette.
Yeah, Metallica selling cassettes. I kind of want to buy one. I tried to buy one yesterday.
Do you have a cassette player, Mike?
There you go.
No, I don't care. I don't have a CD player either. I'm probably going to buy that too. Whatever.
The only CD player I have is in my car.
Yeah. And I've never used mine. I have had my car for 5 years. I've never used it. It's all. But yeah, no. Mike is the
but I'll
epitome
still buy
of Futurama. Shut up and take my money. I mean,
In
and you know
next
what?
week's episode,
I say the same thing to Chris Jericho every year when he announces the next cruise. Like, all
Right.
right, fucking here's another $3,000.
Yeah.
Okay, now a couple of quick questions here, and we're gonna wrap it up because we are over 2 hours.
Oh yeah. We are.
First one, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle on the entire album, real quick. I was a thumbs in the middle, and I'm kind of half thumbs up after we've unpacked it. Mike,
you pulling a gladiator with the "Are you not entertained"?
I'm half erect, is what I'm saying.
Oh,
Mike, you're clearly fully
full,
erect.
full throbbing. It's
Yeah.
It-
So you're a full thumbs up.
After my Inamorata speech, I don't think I can really say anything else.
No.
I think I'm
spent.
The tear said everything, so it's kind
You're
of
spent.
Yeah.
Jeff, you?
Full thumbs up.
Sebastian?
Yeah, I'm like a Mia Khalifa
Okay.
erection here.
Okay, well, we're gonna
full John Holmes.
let's wow. Okay.
Okay, I'm
more of a Lisa
call me
Ann
morning.
guy, but
Call
let's,
me call me morning wood.
Morning. God damn it! I got
Okay, now here's the absolute last thing, Mike. We've talked about you and your son being in there. Seb, you got nephews. Have you got them into Metallica? How are they feeling about it? No,
my nephew listens to gangster rap.
I like him.
And then my niece is very into folk music. So
Cool.
like she's into
Okay.
like, personal artists and with just a guitar and a voice and that kind of stuff. So
No.
I love
Okay,
it. That's
and
awesome.
Jeff, you got your kids are about the same age as mine. You got 3 kids. My oldest, I'm about to have my second graduate. I got 19, 17, 16, and 14 around here. Jeff, your kids, you got 3. They're somewhere in the same age range as mine. Are they into Metallica with you?
No, my daughters would be like, Daddy, this all sounds the same. That's what they would think. My 18-year-old son, he's a rap guy, and a hip hop guy. But I mean, I bet you I could get him to a Metallica show.
Okay.
My daughter did say that they sound good for old people.
Hey, that's the best that you can get out of her.
Right.
So here is my now 17-year-old, almost graduated, headed to kindergarten one morning. She has this exact hat on backwards, wearing the Death Magnetic t-shirt. Sent her to kindergarten repeatedly. That was her favorite shirt for her kindergarten school.
I love it.
However, right now, not so much. I am lucky enough that co-parenting the youngest 2 with my wife and their dad and his wife. He's also a big Metallica fan, not nearly as big as you 3, but they know it. I just don't catch them listening to it. I did promise them years and years ago, back when I had got them those t-shirts, that when Metallica came to town, we would go. The next time they came to town was that $5 show filming Through the Never.
Oh, nice.
And unfortunately, they were with their mother that weekend, so I was not allowed to take them because they were out of town. Anyways, so I think we...
I got one last thing.
Go.
So I have the Ninja Star tattooed on my arm. In the last few years, I've been like, oh, fuck, why did I even get this? Now I'm happy I have it.
Yeah.
His next tattoo is the crib.
No.
Right on the chest here, just the crib right.
Yeah, man. And I'll get the bear, the burnt bear on my back.
Hey, there you go.
But honestly, I'm thinking
please make it 80% of your back.
Because I've always wanted some lyrics from Outlaw Torn put on me, but I'm kind of thinking I might change that and maybe get some Inamorata lyrics.
Of course you are.
All right. Well,
maybe I'm gonna let it. It has to simmer with me for a while because I'm not gonna be impulsive and go do it. Because
I'm going to a birthday party tonight, and the birthday girl has lyrics from Nothing Else Mattered tattooed on her. So, shout out to Not Wife Jen. See you later this evening. I know you're not fucking listening, and you'll never hear this, but it's Sarah will, and
happy birthday.
Welcome to your 40s, kids.
Right.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us. We will be back next week. We might be talking about movies. We might be talking about TV shows. We might be talking about Supernatural. We don't fucking know yet. We've been a little busy this week. So special thanks, Jeff. Thank you so much for joining us. This was great having you. It's super
been awesome. You're welcome anytime you want to come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anytime.
It's really nice to see you guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah. Anytime. You just got to give me a little.
Well, we might hit you up more than you might want.
Jeff, let me ask you this: how do you feel about Star Wars?
I love Star Wars.
Okay, well, we'll be in touch.
We'll be in touch.
Thank you so much.
All Star Wars.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody that has stuck with us for 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 51 seconds.
It's a long one.
Yeah, it was a long one. We unpacked it. As always, we have been at the end. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Sebastian. I think we can only close with one line, Mike.
Good day and how do.
There you go.